only complete game shutout so far this season by an American League pitcher. Now, I think it was Roy Halladay just had his 16th, or so it seems, today for Philadelphia Phillies, but he was very, very good against the Jays this last time out. 9 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, and had mixed in a balk in that game. But he's 1-0 in his career against Kansas City with a 1.29 ERA. Fastball again. If he's living around 93, 94 and putting it where he wants, and reaches back for 96, 97 when he needs it, look out. Andy had asked Joe Madden too if it looks like his curveball has kind of supplanted his slider as his second best pitch, and he still mixes in that changeup that he is trying to incorporate into his arsenal as well. So Price will get the start for the Rays, trying to make it 4-1 on the young season. The Rays have taken the field. Let's take a look at this starting defense, brought to you by Sweet Bay. Live fresh for less. In the outfield for the Rays, Carl Crawford is in left field. B.J. Upton is in center, and Ben Zobrist is over in right. The infield third to first, Evan Longoria, Jason Bartlett, Reed Brignac, and Carlos Pena, the battery of David Price and Dion Navarro. Today's umpires brought to you by Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, the crew chief, Jerry Crawford, is going to be calling the balls and strikes. Brian Onora is down at first base today. Phil Cuzzy moves over to second, and Chris Guccione is at third. So we are getting ready for baseball. Another nice crowd in attendance here at Tropicana Field. And again, we had a lot of people yesterday from the Pinellas County school system. Today, I believe we've got a big crowd from the Manatee County schools. About 1,000 students, teachers, administrators, and families are out among the folks in the outfield today. So again, we welcome all of those who are at the game here on this Saturday night. You're going to have baseball, and you're going to have ZZ Top. Hopefully the Rays trying to continue their winning ways in concert nights. The Rays, coming off a win last week, are now 17-2 on the Summer Concert Series nights dating back to 2008. And they call the play-by-play for the first couple of innings on this Saturday night. Here's Andy Freed.
David, thank you very much, and a good Saturday night to you. As David DeJesus gets things going. Left-hand batter with his hands held high. Price's first pitch is a fastball away, and we are underway. It's 6-10. The Rays and Royals, each side winning a game so far in this series. And DeJesus scoring a run last night to tie the game in the 7th. Here's a called strike. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike, and off to a good start. 287 on the year, 3 homers and 11 batted in. He usually hits leadoff on this team. And he has now for all 3 games. 1 ball, 1 strike. Big, tall, 6'6" David Price from the windup and throws. He's got a strike over the outside. 1 ball to 2 strikes, and we're talking about whether the curveball has supplanted the slider. Joe Madden's answer was that his curveball is getting very good. He's gaining confidence in it, but he still likes his slider against left-handed hitters. You might see one here with the count 1-2. Working out of the lineup, here he comes. Nope, fastball, and he fouls it back onto the net. And it's even up, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tried to sneak the fastball by him at 94 miles an hour. Again, if he's consistent at 93 and putting it where he wants, that is definitely a step in the right direction.
1 ball and 2 strikes here to DeJesus, followed by Podsednik and Billy Butler. Price turns, now throws, just outside. It's even up 2-2. Well, the Royals have been hitting a lot this year. I mean, better than you'd think. I mean, they come into the day tied with the Tigers for the Major League lead with a team batting average of 282. And they have the second most amount of hits in the league. And the 2-2 pitch low and away, and it's full 3-2. However, that hasn't translated into a whole lot of runs. They're just 9th in the league in runs scored. President missing a timely hit and maybe some extra base hits. Full count 3-2. And again, Price on the first base side of the rubber throws. Check swing foul. They didn't mean to, and it would have been a borderline pitch. And we'll do it again at 3-2.
Well, this was something I was just talking to one of the scouts downstairs about how the Yankees go about their business, and you're going to see more and more teams trying to do this. Extend the starting pitcher to get into the bullpen. And a lot of it stems from the fact that pitchers work so hard to get ahead, they don't finish them off early in the count.
And the 3-2 pitch swung on and foul tipped. Might have been ball 4, and it's still 3-2. Close pitch, though.
3 pitches into this at bat, it was 1-2 in favor of David Price. And now here we are, 5 pitches later, and it's still the same batter. I mean, again, the game gets a heck of a lot easier the further away from the dirt you are, but sometimes you try to make those perfect pitches after you just were so free and easy to get the 1 and 2.
Suter gives him now on another payoff pitch. Swinging a fly ball towards left. Crawford angling over towards the foul line. He's got it. Took 9 pitches, but the DeJesus is the first out of the game.
94 mile an hour fastball down and away, and DeJesus tried to serve it in the left, but that was all he could do was get underneath it and lift it right into the glove of Carl Crawford.
But a fine at bat for DeJesus, and he never showed in that sequence that he could get around on that fastball, but he showed he could foul him off and stretch him out. So the second batter of the game will already be the 10th pitch for David Price. Scott Podsednik takes a fastball belt high over the inside corner. It's 0-1. A pest of a hitter, and Podsednik hitting .350 to start the year. And leading the team in walks, so he's been getting on base a lot, and he can run. He fouls one away, left side, and Price is in on the count 0-2. Now let's see what he does ahead of the count.
Early on anyway, it looks like David right now pretty consistent with a fastball at about 94. And down. That's a good sign.
No balls, 2 strikes. Here to Podsednik. Billy Butler next. No scoring first. Price's pitch. Swinging a fly ball down the left field line. Crawford will watch it. Sail out of play. And 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. The count here to Scott Podsednik, who scored the go-ahead run in the 9th inning yesterday after reaching on that chopper over Randy Choate's head. Here's a pitch low and outside. And 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's always easy, too, for people to talk about the guys that aren't here. Some people were saying, well, you know, J.P. Howell was here. He would have been able, well, you know, J.P. Howell wouldn't have been able to get it either. Because J.P. falls off to the mound on the third base side.
A 1-2 pitch, low and away. It's even up, 2-2.
I mean, J.P. wouldn't have been in position to make that play. And, you know, again, who knows if he would have hit it back up the middle. But, you know, like Randy said, 99 times out of 100 he's going to make that play. I think he just got himself in a little bit of a hurry and fouled the baseball.
And partly because Podsednik's a fast runner. 2-2 pitch. Sliced foul. Just slapped it by Dave Owen, the third base coach. And 2-2 it remains.
Well, David's got some good life, and he's down with a fastball, but he's going to have to show that he can get the secondary pitches over right now. And you know, the Royal hitters, judging by their numbers, have proven that they're a pretty decent fastball hitting team.
They're fouling off his pitches. The pitcher's pitch. 2-2. Here it comes. Outside, and he's going full to each of the first 2 batters.
After he started ahead of him. This was 0-2.
Yep.
So this has been a 7-pitch at bat. He had a 9-pitch at bat for DeJesus, and this is going to be, at minimum, an 8-pitch at bat.
So he gives him on another payoff pitch. Here he comes. Swinging a foul away, and another 9-pitch at bat.
And in both cases, he was ahead in the count. So you got to give some credit. And, you know, again, this reminds me a little bit. We made the comparison at times last year. It reminds me a little bit of what Scott Kazmir would go through early in his career. A lot of foul balls.
3 balls, 2 strikes. There's a sign from Navarro. Price to the plate. Slider, and he bounces it up towards first, right along the line. Pena's got it onto the bag, 2 away. So he finally got him with a slider. His first, quote-unquote, secondary pitch of the night. Everything else, I think the first 17 pitches have been fastballs.
18 pitches, 2 batters in.
2 down, no one on, leaves it for Billy Butler.
First start that David Price made last year against Kansas City, he was going, 10 pitches per hour.
Well, overall, Price has cut down on pitches per inning. 6th fewest in the American League right now, after being what would have been tops in the league if he had enough innings. Right in batting, Billy Butler takes ball 1 outside, 1-0, and that was one of Price's goal this year. Better fastball command. And throwing fewer pitches so he could go deeper into games. 1 ball, no strikes here to Butler. Price right back. Butler takes. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. In the Royals press notes, they let us know that today is the 3-year anniversary of Billy Butler's first Major League game, May the 1st of 07. He went 2 for 4 that day against the Angels. He's 7th in the order. It's a ground ball base hit up the middle, and he celebrates his anniversary with the first hit of the night. Back when Buddy Bell managed Kansas City. Singled in his first big league at bat off Bartolo Colon, and he singles off this one against David Price. A 2-out base runner as Butler, not much of a threat to run, but we will be held as Jose Guillen stands in. And the first pitch And that is ball one high, 1-0. I was thinking about that play, Dave, where in the ninth inning, for whatever reason, he rounded third and tried to score, and the Rays had him out by miles, seemingly, at the plate. There was a thought put forward in the paper by Trey Hillman, the manager, that Dave Owen put the hold sign up too late. Here's a pitch low, 2-0. But for a team like the Royals, who were really snake bit in this ballpark, can you imagine if that run had come back to cost them? It could have. It almost did, in fact. 2 balls, no strikes. The stretch, now the pitch. Swing and a miss at the fastball, 2-1.
Well, obviously, Guillen's got some leg issues because he's not running very well the last couple of days, and maybe on the turf, you know, he saw the stop sign, but figured it probably was going to hurt way too much to try to stop, so he tried to keep on going. And when Jaso made the catch, he still was about 15 feet up the line.
That was incredible. Second out of the inning, too. Here's a breaking ball, and it's low and in. And 3 balls, 1 strike down to Guillen, and Price up at 25 pitches already, just 4 batters into the game. The Royals, who've done a pretty good job at not chasing fastballs out of the strike zone throughout the series. And they are going to make David throw strikes. Here's a swing and a miss. As I say that, Guillen chased what probably would have been ball 4.
Took a little something off his fastball and got him to chase. They put 89-mile-an-hour fastball up on the screen, and he's been throwing 93, 94 with the fastball consistently.
Full count 3-2. Butler will be running at first. The stretch by Price. Butler goes late. The pitch bounced onto the left side. Longoria to his left. Straightens up. Here's his throw. Side retired. It goes 5-3. David Price throws 26 pitches, but no real harm. 1 hit, 1 left. Half an inning gone by. Royals nothing. Rays on the way against Kyle Davies. Up next on the Rays Radio Network.
Tonight's starting pitching preview brought to you by Cane's Furniture. We'll take a look at Kyle Davies, 2-1 with a 3.65 earned run average in 4 games. 24 2/3 innings pitched, 20 hits, 10 runs earned. His last start against Seattle, a very good one. 6 innings, gave up only 1 hit.
And he works to Jason Bartlett, and there's a cold strike 1. It's 0-1.
Came up through the Braves organization and has been with the Royals for the last, 4 years or so.
And a fastball low and away. It's 1-1.
Here in July of 2007, right around the trading deadline.
Octavio Dotel involved in that trade. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bartlett swings and taps one off the end of the bat to third. Callasco wide of the bag. He's got it. Throws him out. And Bartlett, who lost a 6-game hitting streak yesterday, is 0 for 1 to start tonight. And with 1 out, nobody on, here's Carl Crawford. The thing for Davies, he's a Georgia kid playing for the Braves for all those years. Lived in downtown Atlanta when he played for the Braves. Trying to become a real strong middle of the rotation sort of guy with the Royals. Carl Crawford late on the fastball. Swings and misses. Its own one. Well, he did flirt with the no-hitter last time out. There's been a lot of flirting with no-hitters so far this year. Time call. Jerry Crawford is going over to the Rays first base side dugout, and he needed a towel, and he's got some dust in his eyes. That happened with Phil Cuzzy in game 1 of this series, and John Jaso.
Well, Phil Cuzzy actually got a cut on the bridge of his nose from a foul ball that hit the mask. But yeah, John Jaso had the issue, and now Jerry Crawford having a bit. Jerry Crawford, didn't he have to leave a game last year in Toronto because of a bonky back? Or that was in New York. I think he had one and a couple places.
In Toronto, he got the one that he took the foul ball. That was Kaz's last game, I think, as a Red. Crawford takes up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 to count here to Crawford. Out of the full over-the-head windup, which you don't often see these days, and a slow curve swung on the missed 1-2. Crawford having a hard time with that slow curve against Bannister yesterday, and Davies now tonight. Davies had been a 4th-round pick of the Atlanta Braves back in 01. Here he comes. Curve swung on a miss. Strike 3. So Crawford is punched out. 2 quick outs in the Rays first. The score will leave it for Ben Zobrist.
Good breaking pitch right there by Davies. I mean, it started outside the strike zone, but Crawford picked it up as if to say, well, you know, it looked like it's going to come over the zone, and it did, but the bottom just dropped out of it. That was a beautiful pitch.
Sure was. And here's Ben Zobrist batting left-handed, and he takes low 1-0. No score, bottom of the first. 2 on bases empty. 1 ball and no strikes here to Ben Zobrist. 1 for 7 in the series. And Davies kicks and throws up and away. 1-1. Zobrist, who had the 16-game hitting streak snapped, it had dated back to last year. That ended April the 14th, and since then Ben is only hitting .214. Swings and pops one up foul into the upper deck. Straight back. And now 2 balls, 1 strike. I think the Rays are determined to give Ben every possible chance to hit third in this lineup.
And I think they're going to stick with him, too, because of how well it's worked for Evan Longoria and Carlos Pena.
Sure has.
Unless Ben really to start to have struggles.
2-1 pitch. That's fouled back. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And that's part of his issue right there. Now, that was a borderline pitch at best that he swung at. And again, you know, if it's 2-2, you've got to swing at that. If it's 1-2, you've got to swing at it. But 2-1, when you're in a hitter's count and you've worked a hitter's count, he's been making too many of those swings. He's been helping the pitcher out way too often through the first month of the season.
2-2, the right-hander down the hill, curveball, fouled away, and Ben recognized the curve and was able to fight it off. And an even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So 2-2 the count here to Zobrist with Evan Longoria on deck. Defense straight up for the Royals. And the right-hander's pitch. Change, and it's low and away. So a full count, 3-2. So he should have been all 3 pitches this at bat. Fastball, curve, and change. On the third base side of the rubber, out of the full line, here he comes, and Zobrist takes ball 4 too high, and Longoria will bat here in the first.
Ben's going to have to start taking his walks, because that'll help everybody. And, you know, again, I'm sure he sees himself in a run production position at the 3-hole. But he's going to have to start taking his walks, because right now pitchers aren't giving him anything to hit because they know, A, he's chasing, and B, he might be a little jumpy at the plate. He's still looking for his first home run. I'm going to try and see if we can, you know, look it up, but I don't know if Ben went a month homerless all of last year.
I would doubt it. He's at first, and with 2 down, here's Evan Longoria, who takes in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. Evan, who he loves the month of April throughout his career, and this April better than what his career average had been during the month. 335 career in April. This year, 341, and he ended it very strong last night. The slide step of the pitch outside. It's 2-0. And you're right, Dave. If Zobrist starts taking his walks a little bit more, it'll be even more RBI situations for Longoria and Pena. Ben could score. It's kind of run this season. 2-0 to Longoria. Now the pitch. Swinging a hard ground ball to third. Backhanded nicely by Callasco. Goes the short way to second. And Zobrist is forced out. Longoria retired. And the Rays are done. One of the books on a Saturday night. Rays and Royals are scoreless on the Rays Radio Network. Check.
Stop by the Pepsi display at your local Sweet Bay supermarket for the chance to win a $1,000 Sweet Bay shopping spree with a Rays player, among other great prizes, including Rays VIP tickets and Sweet Bay gift cards. Hurry, the promotion ends May the 5th.
David Price back to work as we start the second. Alberto Callaspo bangs a base hit into center field on the first pitch. Switch hitting Royal third baseman gets one into the outfield, and the Royals have the leadoff man aboard in the second. Price will work out of the stretch now to Jason Kendall. Get a lot of hits, work in the middle of the field, and Callaspo, who has a home run in the series, he had the game-winning sac fly in the ninth yesterday, and now leads off the second with a base hit. So here's the veteran Jason Kendall, who signed a 2-year deal with the Royals, so he'll be back for 2011. Look towards first, Callaspo with a short lead, and Kendall looks at a called strike in zone 1. We've been talking about it throughout the series, but he moved into 6th place all time for games caught. And by the end of the year, he should pass the 2,000 game mark. So about 1920, I think tonight is 1929. Doesn't take many days off. 0-1. And the pitch sliced into right field. It's another base hit. Callaspo will hold at second as Zobrist plays it back in, and the Royals have a rally going in the second inning.
Well, again, David's going to have to start incorporating some off-speed pitches. His fastball has some life to it. You can get away with a fastball if you're perfectly placing it. But right now, everything's been kind of down. And I think right now the Royals hitters, that's all their eye level's at. It's down. You got to move their eye level around a little bit. Bust them up and in a little bit, move the ball up, maybe even, throw a couple of fastballs around chest high to see if they might chase. But, of his 30 pitches, I would imagine about 95% of them have been down around knee level.
Here's Willie Bloomquist, who gets a start tonight and takes low, right-hand batter. And it's 1-0, and I think we have seen 1 or 2 off-speed pitches. We have not seen his curveball. We have seen a slider make a brief appearance, but it's mostly been heat. But the location has been the same. Bloomquist entered the game last night as a pinch runner and played first base in the ninth inning, hitting just 167. And he bunts one in the air on the first base side of the land foul. And we'll do it again. 1 ball, 1 strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike here to Bloomquist, who is a very good bunter. Royals, a team not afraid to use the bunt. We've seen them use it numerous times throughout this series. In fact, they have the league's best sacrifice bunter in Scott Podsednik. 1 ball and 1 strike. The count here to Bloomquist. And then Yuniesky Betancourt. So the Royals in position here with Callaspo at second, Kendall at first, and nobody out. David Price looking in, and I wonder if they might have Bloomquist try to square again. The Rays have Pena on the infield grass. Longoria step onto it now. Price throws, not bunting, and a fly ball foul down the right field line. And slicing out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. All right, so Price has jumped ahead 1-2, and he threw him the curve. That might have been his first curve ball of the night. And a ball and 2 strikes. The Rays are in double play positioning up the middle. Bloomquist is into one of those this year. Serviceable utility man, 1-2 the count. Crowd getting behind Price in the pitch. Grounded towards the right side to his left. Brignac fields, goes to second run, and Bartlett no throw to first. Nice job by Brignac to prevent that ball from going into the outfield, and he was still able to get the middleman.
Great range by Reed, and again, we've been watching him get more and more confidence at second base. I mean, that's a tough play just to get to the baseball, and then for him to have the thought process to go to second, take the chance, and an off-balance throw was right on the money. No chance to double up Bloomquist because he just is too quick.
So well done, and should note too, a fine slide by Jason Kendall, trying to get in the way of Bartlett. And now Yuniesky Betancourt, the Royals shortstop, who while he's 0 for 7 in the series is not an easy out, but the Rays have gotten him to chase out of the strike zone and get him to hit the pitcher's pitches. He loops one foul right side and into the seats over the Rays dugout, and it's 0-1. No score top of the second, but Callaspo at third and Bloomquist at first. I would wonder if they might send Bloomquist here. Navarro's first game back since April the 23rd. So we're talking about an 8-day span. And we have a first and third situation. Bloomquist can run pretty well. 0-1. He's got a good sized lead. And Price off the rubber. Nothing on the count. Price with a stretch. There goes Bloomquist, and the pitch is low and dropped by Navarro, and there goes the double play. A steal at second by Bloomquist.
Well, David, again, with all the greatness that he possesses, his move to first base is probably a little below mediocre and takes a little time. Does not have the slide step to home plate, and the rush for Navarro to try to get rid of the baseball. He has not been throwing the ball well the last couple of years, and Nobby tried to be too quick and dropped the baseball.
So now it's second and third. Rays play back up the middle and into the corners, especially Pena. On the 1-1 to Betancourt, hit foul right side, and now it's 1-2. And this becomes, with Price ahead of the count, a ball and 2 strikes, a moment where, see if they can get him to chase. He's chased high fastballs. Price would have to have the confidence in Navarro, which I know he does, to throw the breaking ball in the dirt, perhaps. Or will he mix in that curve? 1-2. And the runners leading in scoring position. The left-hander's pitch. Swing at a foul straight back, a high fastball, and he just got a piece to stay alive. Betancourt hitting .299 with 2 homers and 7 batted in. Doesn't walk much, so he's up there to swing the bat. Native of Cuba. The right-hand hitter with some pop. The Ray left-hander on top. He deals 1-2. Swing and a foul. And he threw him the slider that came in on the hands. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, again, not a lot of tilt to David's slider right now. They'd love to see that tilt, start to pick up a little bit as you look at a clock from a left-hander and hope it would go from somewhere around 10 to 4. And right now it's going from about 9:30 to 3:30. Not quite as much tilt as it'd like.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Here he comes. Swinging a ground ball towards short will mean a run. Bartlett fields behind the bag, throws him out, but Callaspo scores, and Bloomquist to third, and the Royals take a 1-0 lead.
Puts the ball in play, and that means a run. And the steal of Bloomquist was absolutely huge because that might have been a tailor-made double play.
Sure looked like it.
So 6-3 on the putout. Give Betancourt his 8th run batted in, and the Royals have a 1-0 lead.
They're on top, and now Chris Getz, left-hand batting second baseman, 2 days off the DL with an oblique strain. Runner at third, 2 out. He shows bunt and drops it beautifully along third. Here comes Longoria, bare hand pickup. Here's the throw, and Pena off the bag. A bunch single for Getz, driving home Bloomquist, and the Royals lead 2-0.
Going to roll it any better. And Evan, you know, he comes in on bunts as well as anybody at third base in the league, and maybe in baseball. Trying to do everything he could to prevent that base hit right there, but it was laid down perfectly by Getz. He got a great break out of the box. And Evan playing behind the bag, charged, bare hand, got the throw off, and if it's on the mark, it might not even been in time. So perfectly done by Chris Getz.
Very well done. And the Royals lead 2-0. And with a runner at first, here's David DeJesus, and the throw to first, and back goes Chris Getz, who can try to steal. And DeJesus was a tough out in the first, fly to left eventually, but a 9-pitch sequence to start the night. And 4 hits for the Royals already. Price's first pitch hit foul, slapped at it, and hits it back into the middle deck. And the count 0-1.
Not a lot of swings and misses so far. I mean, 42 pitches, and I'd say less than a handful of swings and misses by the Royals so far this game. Have that many?
Have there been any?
I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to remember one. To their credit. And 0-1 the count. And kind of a low energy feel right now.
Absolutely.
At Tropicana Field. 0-1. And the pitch, fastball high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of pitches. That's one of the reasons why in the Rays defensively. I mean, you look out to the outfield, and BJ's got his hands on his hips. Carl Crawford's hands are on his knees, looking down at the turf. Real low energy beginning for the Rays so far on this Saturday night.
1 ball and 1 strike after, about as high an energy game as you could have last night. 1-1, watching Getz at first, and he'll draw a throw. And it really is, as Dave said, not much of a deceptive move for Price. Telegraph the throw over. And 1 ball and 1 strike here to DeJesus. He leads the team in runs scored. He's got 3 home runs already. 1-1 the count. Second baseman Brignac has stepped towards the hole and deep over there at second. Rest of the outfield, or the outfield themselves, not deep at all. Price throws 1-1 way high, and Price just yelled at himself after the pitch came in. I think he's getting frustrated out there on the mound. Shouted at himself after that pitch went way high and away from the left-handed batter. You know, Price has not walked anyone, but he's had an awful lot of deep counts. Now he gets the sign by Navarro and delivers up again, and it's 3-1. And this is laboring for David Price, and he goes back behind the mound, stares out at center field, rubs up a new baseball, and tries to gather his thoughts. He toes the middle of the rubber and looks into Navarro. 3 balls and 1 strike here to DeJesus. Scott Podsednik on deck. Already 2-0 Kansas City. And the pitch swung on and missed, so there's one. A high fastball that might have been chasing a bit, but it's full 3-2.
Well, he did chase, and Rays are fortunate that DeJesus got a little jumpy at the plate. That was above the letters. Nothing he was going to be able to do with it, even if he got it.
All right, so what will Price do? 3-2. The crowd, another big one tonight. Should be around 30,000 plus. Making noise. Getz will be running. Pena off the bag with him. Here he comes. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 high, and the Royals rally continues.
And Jim Hickey's going to come out and have a little chat. And I mean, the alarm bells are going off right now because of not a lot of swings and misses, even at the strikes. And also now we're approaching 50 pitches for the first 2 innings.
Yep.
Not going to be not going to be on that mound very long at this rate period. A couple of scores around Major League Baseball as we take a look at our scoreboard, brought to you by Shaker's Vodka. A great American-made vodka that goes down smooth. Please drink responsibly. Top of actually some finals from earlier today. The Tigers did beat the Angels by a score of 3-2. As Johnny Damon hit a home run. I think it was his walk-off in the bottom of the 9th inning that won it for Detroit. The White Sox held on and beat the Yankees 7-6. Andrew Jones had a couple of home runs in that game. Curtis Granderson left it with a sore groin. He might be on the DL coming up pretty soon.
Here's Scott Podsednik taking a called strike. It's 0-1.
A's beat the Blue Jays 4-3 this afternoon, and the Rangers doubled up Seattle by a score of 6-3. Those are some of the American League scores on our Shaker's Vodka out-of-town scoreboard.
Here it's 2-0 Royals with 2 on and 2 out. Price pitches, grounded foul back behind the plate. And there's the slider. So maybe Hickey was saying, look, if your fastball command's not great, maybe we should start mixing some other stuff in here.
Well, this reminds me a little bit of the start Friday night, not last night, but a week ago Friday when the Rays were coming off that road trip. Really kind of a dull beginning, and they gave up the early runs to Matt Garza. They had to fight their way back.
0-2 pitch, too high with a fastball, 1-2. They did fight their way back. Here it's a ball and 2 strikes to Podsednik, who worked the count full and finally grounded out in the first. Runners aboard, gets it second to Jesus at first. Good speed aboard. The pitch is tapped foul right at home plate to stay alive at 1-2.
Mixed in a slider right there. Podsednik just barely able to get a piece. Again, out of his 51 pitches, I'd say 43 to 45 have been fastballs.
Yeah. Which is okay if you've got command and getting it where you want it, but that's not been the case yet for Price. 1-2. Here he comes. Looped towards short, caught out of the air by Jason Bartlett. And he threw him a slider to get out of the jam. So he bends a little bit. 2 runs in for the Royals on 3 base hits and a walk at the end of 1.5. Kansas City 2, Rays nothing on the Rays Radio Network.
Rays are chasing a couple of runs as they get ready to hit here in the bottom half of the second inning. You can sign up at Cane's Furniture for a chance to meet one of your favorite Rays players. And if the Rays throw 10 strikeouts in today's game, log on to canestrikeout.com and get a coupon for a free Papa John's pizza. Get to Cane's today.
Well, the Rays down 2 sent up Carlos Pena to start off the bottom of the second inning, and then Upton and Burrow gets Kyle Davies. First pitch, half swing, and he could not hold back. It's 0-1. Davies already flashing all 3 of his pitches in the first. Fastball, curveball, changeup. It's very early, but he looks to have pretty darn good stuff tonight. Hard to tell if 4 matters, and he does have a walk. From the full line, he throws 0-1. Swinging a pop foul back behind the plate and into the upper deck, and Pena is behind 0-2. Especially his curveball looking strong. And Crawford going after it in the first inning. Well, as we mentioned, his last start against the Mariners, an excellent one, a 1-hitter over 6 innings, but they got the pitch count up and got him out after 6. His team was up 2-0, ended up holding on and beating Felix Hernandez 3-1. The King. 0-2. And the pitch, Pena takes, change outside, 1-2. We're not going to see Felix Hernandez in our series out there. In fact, the Rays are going to see 3 left-handers. Go figure. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count here to Pena. And time called. When we get out to the West Coast, the Rays will see Jason Vargas in Game 1, Cliff Lee in Game 2, Ryan Roland Smith in Game 3. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the right-hander's pitch. Curveball, tapped foul back behind the plate. Carlos protecting the plate and spoiling off that curve. And 1-2. The Rays in Seattle will counter with James Shields, Matt Garza, Jeff Neiman. All 3 of those games Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights beginning at 10:10 Eastern, 9:30 with our pregame show. 1-2 the count. Now the pitch. Outside, 2-2. And that game last time out, in which Davies was so good, was the first time he even went past 100 pitches this year. Much more economical in his early games. Has not gotten past 7 innings yet this season. 2-2 the count, and Pena swings and pops it up. Back at third. Setting was deep. Now it comes on. The ball is hit high enough where he's got time to get under it and squeeze it for 1 out. So Pena retired for 1 away, and up steps B.J. Upton.
Well, you got to give Brian Bannister a heck of a lot of credit for the job that he did yesterday. Again, you comment about a guy being a very cerebral pitcher, and he never let the Rays fluster him. Gave up the solo shot to Evan Longoria, but other than that, really looked like he was in total control.
B.J. Upton taking high, 1-0.
Rays had all kinds of issues. They never really were able to mount any kind of a serious rally. A lot of times it was just 3 up, 3 down.
And that pitch is low, 2-0. And even though he didn't get the win, Josh Roop did, and only the second right-hander to beat the Rays this season. A.J. Burnett beat the Rays on April the 11th. Outside of that, the only Rays losses have come to lefties. Upton swings under the high fastball, 2-1.
Only in that ball game, 2 in the 7 innings that he pitched, and only 2 of them did the Rays send more than 3 batters to the plate.
He was got a lot of changing of speeds. That's what Davies is trying to do so far tonight.
Why would you change a thing?
Of course, 2 balls, 1 strike. To the plate he comes. Upton takes a changeup for a strike. Case in point. Messed up BJ's timing there. Started to go, and then he held back, and the pitch was right into the zone, but at a much slower speed. Only 80 miles an hour on that pitch. And the count is 2-2 to Upton. Pat Burrell on deck, 2-0 Kansas City. In the second, 2-2 pitch to Upton. Fastball high, didn't chase it this time, and it's full.
And when you get a guy like Bannister yesterday, Davies throws a little harder. We've seen 91, 92 in the game today, but we've made mention of it earlier in the week. Sometimes hitters get in their mind, if it's a fastball, I'm swinging. If it's a fastball, I'm swinging. And then no matter where it is, they swing.
Now the 3-2 pitch. Low, ball 4, and the Rays get Pat Burrell up with the possible tying run.
And you play right into the pitcher's hands. And nice to see the Rays display a little patience here. And force Davies to come over the plate.
Burrell 2 for 5, career against Kyle Davies. He's got a couple of home runs this year, batting .254 with 13 runs batted in. He's got Upton off first. See if BJ might run here. Out of the stretch is Davies, and the right-hander's pitch, slide step, fastball too high, 1-0. Burrell in driving in these runs. They're all since April the 16th. So he didn't have an RBI until then, and now he's got 13 of them. And some very big ones. Some to win games, other to continue rallies and key a frame. Here's a throw to first, and Upton back, diving in. KC 2, Rays nothing. We're in the second. Upton away at first base, being held on by Billy Butler. The stretch and another throw to first, and back diving is up. And the Rays have not had much success trying to steal lately. I think it's just now one of their last 6 have been successful. And I don't think this team is going to stop running. The Rays feel like they can run on Jason Kendall. Davies does seem to have a slide step to the plate. We don't have a time on him to the plate, but he doesn't look like he takes a tremendous amount of time. 1 ball, no strikes. Watching Upton, he's not going, and Burrell takes fastball high, 2-0.
Just on that particular pitch right there, you can see that Davies tried to rush things, and in doing so, he opened himself up, and the pitch kind of sailed high and out of the strike zone. So, again, as we talked about a little bit with Dallas Braden's game, Rays weren't looking to run, but it was in the back of Braden's mind. I think it affected him in that outing for the A's.
2-0. Upton bluffs the pitch, cut on and missed, and it's 2-1.
80-mile-an-hour changeup. That's just great pitching right there, because Pat Burrell's got to be sitting there thinking, there's no way I'm going to get anything off speed. And he gets an 80-mile-an-hour changeup and swung at it like it was going to be a 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
To be successful in the major leagues, you've got to be able to throw off-speed stuff for strikes in fastball counts. 2 balls, 1 strike. Upton holds. Burrell takes way upstairs, 3-1.
And, again, a lot of times people talk, well, are you changing up? And we're seeing more of it nowadays than they did back in the, 70s and 80s and even before that. Seen a lot more pitchers throwing changeups, not off of their necessarily their fastball, but they're throwing a changeup more so off of the mindset of the hitter. So people don't, a lot of old timers didn't like to see first pitch changeups.
3-1. Burrell takes low ball 4, and perhaps in his haste to keep Upton close to the bag, he allows him to get the second as Burrell draws Davies' 3rd walk of the night already.
Bob McClure is going to come out and have a chat with Al Davies, and again, I think the Rays' patience is starting to pay dividends. He wants you to swing at his pitch, and the Rays have to start getting Davies to get it back over the strike zone.
Now you got Reed Brignac coming up, facing Davies for just the 2nd time in his career, and McClure to the mound, bringing the entire infield in with him. Some of those out-of-town scores on our Shakers Vodka scoreboard in the National League. Matt Cain pitches well today for San Francisco, and they beat Colorado 6-1. Jose Molina hits his 2nd home run, Juan Uribe number 3, and Aubrey Huff hit his 3rd. Other finals in the National League, the Cubs a winner at home, beating Arizona 7-5. Well, Mark Reynolds hit 2 home runs to give him 9. 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. The difference for the Cubs. Cardinals double up the Reds 6-3. Ryan Franklin a win with 3 in the 8th to break a tie for St. Louis. The Braves a winner at home against the Astros 10-1. Jason Hayward a 7th homer, and Roy Halladay a 3-hit complete game shutout. The Phillies beat the Mets 10-zip. Here's Reed Brignac. First pitch fastball at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. We're saying this before the game. Roy Halladay must be thinking to himself, what was I doing spending all those years in the American League East?
Making a pretty good living.
Making a good living, but facing so many tough hitters night after night, and now he's just skating through the National League, especially in division. Upton breaks for 3rd. The pitch swung on a miss, juggled by Kendall, and Upton takes 3rd, and Burrell's not going anywhere. So runners at the corners for the Rays, and that pitch is a strike, so it's now 0-2 to Brignac.
Kendall took a peek and was going to go to 3rd base, couldn't find the handle, and then he took a quick peek out to see what Pat Burrell was doing. See if he was even thinking about trying to steal on the back end of that play. But, yeah, Pat Burrell's not going anywhere, and wisely so.
By the way, Halladay with the win is now 5-1. Here the Rays are behind 2-0. Got runner to the corners. 0-2, though, the count to Brignac. And a curveball ripped down the right field line, but he hooked it. It's a foul ball. And Davies got away with a hanging curve. Brignac got a pretty good swing on that 0-2 curveball right over the inside portion. And no balls, 2 strikes. Yonder Navarro on deck. Royals squeezing out 2 runs in the top of the inning, and the Rays trying to answer back with something here, even though they don't have a hit yet. A couple of walks, and Upton at 3rd, Burrell at 1st. 0-2. The right-hander on top. Here he comes. Check, swing, foul, and Brignac took that right out of Kendall's glove. It's 0-2.
Halladay's ERA right now stands at 1.47. And that's with that loss to San Francisco his last time out. 7 innings, 5 earnings. So you take that out of the equation, and obviously you can't. He'd have probably an ERA under half a run.
0-2 the count. The runners take their leads at the corners. Brignac takes one up over his head. It's 1-2.
I think they'll take that.
Could he give Bob
His whip is .88 right now. It's amazing.
He would be down in Bob Gibson 1.12 category if he didn't have that start against San Francisco.
I'll be under that. Let me see what I can figure that out.
1 ball to 2 strikes here to Brignac. This is the time where the Rays need to make contact. Upton dancing off 3rd. The 1-2 to Brignac. Looped in the air. Shallow left field. Bencourt going out. Can't get it. Base hit. Upton scores. And up to 2nd, Burrell. And how about that? On a 1-2 curve, Brignac slaps it to left. And the Rays are on the board. Down 2-1. He is getting better and better and better.
Well, that's just a kind of reach out and touch someone. Reach out and touch the baseball. And flicked the wrists and lifted it up over the head of Bencourt in a short left field. So that's a nice at bat there by Brignac and a much needed run for the Rays. That pitch was in the outside in the right-handed hitter's batter's box, and Brignac committed and still was able to get a piece of it.
Now Diana Navarro's first at bat in 8 days. Batting lefty, shows bunt, but lines it foul left side, and it's 0-1. And Navi is in an 0 for 20. And then the bumping of the umpire and the 2-game suspension and the sore calf, putting him on the shelf while John Jaso erupts into a candidate for AL Rookie of the Month.
His ERA would be .64.
That would make Bob Gibson jealous. 0-1 to count here to Navarro. Burrell at second, Brignac at first, one away. And Navarro batting left-handed, takes floater outside, a change-up, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That is already his 3rd complete game shutout in the National League. And
it's May 1st.
And it's May 1st. And again, he has given up 8 earned runs in 49 innings, and again 5 of those in 1 game.
1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch hit foul back onto the net. Navarro's behind 1-2.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. And again, there's so much time between now and when Kelly Shoppach comes back, and see how it all plays out. Even Joe Madden admitted that he ran it by a lot of the coaches, and he said it looked like John Jaso looked a little tired toward yesterday's game. He was boxing a few pitches and didn't have the same kind of gusto in his swing.
1-2 with Bartlett on deck. Burrell and Brignac off the bags, and the 1-2 pitch. Navarro swings at the curve, hits it back up the middle. Flagged by Davies. He goes to second for 1, and Bencourt to first. Not in time. In fact, it pulled Butler off the bag, and Navarro hustling all the way. Stays out of the double play. Did Davies bat that down with his hand?
Either that or his foot. I think he might have got it with his foot, and then kicked up into the air. 1-6 on the fielder's choice. And nice play by Davies, and I'll tell you what, Bencourt with a pretty nice turn to throw just brought Butler off the bag just a little bit. Kind of a kick save that, and instead of going through, he kicked it and went straight up. And Davies had the presence of mind to grab it and almost still turned a spectacular double play.
Tremendous job. Did they still play hacky sack? Because that's what it looked like Davies was doing. He kicked it right up in the air. I never liked that, by the way.
Not a big fan.
No. All right, so the Rays have first and third for Jason Bartlett. And the pitch to him is too high, and there's nobody else in the league you'd want up with runners in scoring position. He's hitting .550 to lead the American League. 11 for 20 in this sort of spot. And a hit would tie the game. Burrell at third, Navarro at first, 2 down. 2-1 Royals in the second inning. And the pitch, he got a strike right at the belt. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. So 1-1 to Bartlett, grounded out to third base his only time. So the Rays making Davies work a little bit and giving Price a chance to rest in the dugout. He's labored tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a pitch too high. It's 2-1. Let's pause for station identification now on the Rays Radio Network. Two balls, 1 strike to count. And the pitch is hit in the air towards right. Right where David DeJesus is playing. Over to his left a little. He's got it to retire the side. And Bartlett hitting the ball in the air. Here's the final out of the inning. But the Rays get a run on 2 walks and a single at the end of 2. Kansas City 2, Rays 1 on the Rays Radio Network. 2 innings gone by. The Rays and the Royals. Kansas City up 2-1 as we get set for the 3rd inning. The big guns coming up for the Royals. Billy Butler, Jose Guillen, and Alberto Callaspo. Both pitchers getting stretched out a little bit in the early going. As Price kind of laboring through his first 2 innings, and then the Rays making Davies throw all kind of pitches there in the 2nd inning. Couple of walks, and overall Davies has walked 3. And just that 1-2 curveball to the opposite field hit by Reed Brignac, accounting for the Rays' lone run. So 2-1, Royals lead as we go to the 3rd inning. And as Price toes the rubber again, back in for play-by-play, here is Dave Wells.
Andy, thank you. And, you know, David's already thrown 52 pitches. Davies, though, is right around 47 or 48. Billy Butler to lead things off, and the first pitch to him is way high for a ball. Butler singled his first time. First 2 men had looked at 9 pitches apiece before Price had retired him in the 1st inning, and then Butler took a pitch early in the count, went right back through the middle with it. There's a pitch in there for a strike, and back to a breaking ball, and the count evening up at a ball and a strike. Butler, Guillen, and Callaspo for Kansas City. They lead it 2-1 here in the top of the 3rd. Price's pitch. Swinging a little slicer foul on a play to the right side. Well, again, this is a game that Rays will have a concert after the ball game. ZZ Top performing after the game today. And a crowd of probably on the other side of 30,000 in attendance here. It's a radio-only game, but for you folks who have the MLB.TV package, you can actually watch it with our audio. Here's a swing and a line drive toward right. On the run is Zobrist to make the catch. Zobrist had to gather in that sinking line drive and had to go down to get it. A fine catch by the Rays right fielder, and there's one gone here in the 3rd.
Sure was, and because it was so low, it wasn't that it was far away from him at the end, but because it was so low, Ben had to lay out for it. He did a fine job. He has a better chance making that play diving than he does just trying to reach down. There are guys that dive to make it look good. That time Ben dove because he really had to.
Here's Jose Guillen. He grounded at 3rd his only time. Price ready to go on his pitch. He's taken for strike 1. Rays off to their best start in team history. There's a check swing. Did he go? And they'll say that he did not. 1 ball, 1 strike. And off to that 17-6 start. And it was one of their best months ever as well. There's the 1-1. Back to a breaking ball call.
He's mixed in a couple of curves this inning, and that's different than the way he was going through them in the first 2.
The .739 winning percentage is bested only by June of 04, in which they went 20-6. There's the 1-2 pitch, just a bit outside. Said input umpire Jerry Crawford, and the count 2-2. And the August of 2008 record of 21-7, which solidified their spot atop the American League East that year. The 2-2 pitch, swinging a foul at a play. We'll do it again. So the Rays off and running. They set club records for April in runs scored with 144. RBI 141 and walks received with 96 already. The 2-2 pitch on its way. Inside, the count goes full 3-2. Alberto Callaspo waits on deck. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swinging a foul. This one just over the screen and below us. Into the crowd. Pass along a hello to Erin Sullivan listening to the game today. And watching it, she says. 3-2, the count again. Infield playing in the full to the left side. The pitch. Swing, and he popped him up. Left center field, B.J. Upton drifting to his right to get underneath it. Waits for it to fall into his glove, and it does, and he's too gone.
Surprised you don't have your ZZ Top beard on tonight.
Well, I was growing it, and then we lost yesterday, so I shaved it off today.
Is that right?
I did.
You don't really have a thick beard, though, do you?
You know what? During the winter, I went every other day shaving.
Yeah.
It's coming in gray now, so it's.
Is that right?
I say light blonde, but my wife says no, it's gray. There's the first pitch on its way to Alberto Callaspo, and he takes inside for ball 1. Callaspo singled leading off the 2nd inning and scored one of the 2 Kansas City runs. We're in the top of the 3rd, 2-1 KC. The 1-0 pitch. That's there for a strike, and it's 1-1. Rays right now with a 2-game lead over the Yankees. The 1-1 pitch is swung and lifted to right field, but right where Ben Zobrist was, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. So David Price with his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. That's also our 15th out, and it's brought to you by Geico. For 15 minutes can save you 15% on your car insurance. We go to the bottom of the third. 2-1 Kansas City on the Rays Baseball Network.
Are you just... Nation's leading domestic hunger relief charity. No home runs yet by the Rays tonight. Carl Crawford leads off the home third.
First pitch on its way to CC is a little bit low for a ball. Crawford struck out his first time. Now the next pitch on its way, and that's taken low. 2 balls, no strikes.
Dave, we'd like to welcome tonight's Little League hero of the game, presented by Subway Restaurants. 8-year-old Justin Haney is tonight's Little League hero and attends Oakstead Elementary School in Land O'Lakes. Give you a little bio in a moment.
2-0 pitch. That's a strike.
When Justin isn't playing baseball, he loves to cheer on the Rays, and his favorite player is
Sean Riggins. No?
Is it that guy that plays third base?
Andy Canizero. No. There's a pitch outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. I'm going to say Evan Longoria.
You cheated. He's wearing a Longoria jersey. Welcome, Justin. And kids, if you're between the ages of 7 and 14 and want the chance to be the next Subway Little League hero of the game, you can register to win at Guest Services inside Tropicana Field.
Land O'Lakes, that's where I'm from. I'm up near Lutz. You know where Lutz is?
Nope.
Yeah. 3-2 pitch, and that's low ball for it. Crawford will walk as he leads things off here in the third.
All right, Justin, what do you think? Carl Crawford, I'm going to say, is going to try to steal a base right here. What do you think?
I think right now, I think we're going to be hired to watch Justin at his house all the time now because he hasn't said a word. Is he always this quiet at home? See, that's what I thought. So whenever there's a, he's a little too chirpy, Mom's going to call Dave and Andy and say, come on over, we need to quiet Justin down a little bit.
But he's all smiles, which I like.
Infield looking at turn 2 as Ben Zobrist comes up. Crawford a good size lead at first as Davies comes set. Now pitches a swing and a line drive to right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. DeJesus cuts it off. Crawford flies around second and he's on his way to third. And he'll get there, and the Rays have runners at the corners and nobody out here in the third. Now that's the Ben Zobrist we know and love.
Now, I was wondering if Ben was going to take a pitch or two because Crawford was probably going to try to steal, but maybe the Royals, thinking that also, gave him a fastball to hit. It was up on the outside portion of the plate and just rifled into the gap. And the Royals, who play such a deep outfield, had no shot at Crawford at third base.
So here is Evan Longoria. He bounced into a fielder's choice his first time. Longoria with 18 runs batted in, second on the team to Carlos Pena. Is that too loud, Justin? Are we too loud? You okay? Good. Runners lead at the corners. First pitch to Evan. Swung on and grounded on one hop to short. Betancourt has it, goes to second out. Gets his turn to first for the double play, but the run will score, and we're tied at 2 here in the third. So no RBI for Longoria. 6-4-3 on the double play. The Rays have come back to tie the game at 2.
But Justin brought Evan some luck. He got the run, even though it's not an RBI. Evan just tied the game.
I asked Evan before the game, I said, did you think it was going to go when it left your bat? He said, I was so far out in front, I really had only one hand on the bat that he said, you know, I've hit about 4 of those here at this park, and he says 2 of them went, 2 of them didn't. So it was a 50-50 proposition. First pitch on its way to Carlos is swinging a miss at a changeup. And that's strike 1. And while Rich was doing his postgame in the brew house, on my way back to Lutz, I stopped at the House of Brews, and some of the Rays fans that were in attendance there watching the game, they all said that as the ball left the bat, everybody got up and went, ah, and then when it was quiet, went, oh. Here's a next pitch to Pena, and that missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Evan even himself said he went to breakfast this morning, and there was a guy there that said, 1 more inch.
Pretty much how it sounded here at the ballpark, too.
Shift on the infield. 3 infielders to the right of second base. The 1-1. And that's low. 2 balls, 1 strike. I just got a note here that the Sullivans are listening in the Virgin Islands.
Hey.
I think.
Missed them. We haven't seen them in a while.
Haven't seen them yet. They don't like us much yet.
I guess not. They used to always come by the booth.
Exactly. Outfield is deep for Pena. Davies ready. The 2-1 pitch with 2 outs. Swinging a foul on a play to the left side.
Was it that we mercilessly teased their daughter, or I don't know?
You do.
Yeah.
I'm nice to them. So 2-4-0 so far for Kansas City. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors to this point for the Rays. B.J. Upton waits on deck. Davies getting ready to throw his 61st pitch. Here it is. Floater missed a little high, and the count goes full of 3-2.
Carlos continues to work good at bats, get into deep counts, not chasing pitches as much, and that soft stuff up and away used to have a hard time holding back on it. He took that one again for a full count.
So a full count pitch coming up to Pena. Davies the full wind in the offering, and he checked his swing, and he did go around to the Rays. Are done here in the third. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We get Nuts. Nice to, I'm sure he talks. We'll see if we can find out during the break. 3 innings in the books, 2-2 our score on the Rays Baseball Network.
The totals through 3. Kansas City 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 3 left. The Rays 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 3 left. As we go to the 4th inning, it's a tie game, and David Price, after a strong third, back to work.
First pitch on its way, and it's a fastball poured over for strike 1. Actually, a slider. And a little angle to it at the end. Kendall, a right-handed hitter, open stance, takes the next pitch, and that caught the outside corner.
It's almost
a curveball.
Yeah, it's almost as if he is reversing his early game trend, which was fastballs and then a couple of breaking balls. Now it's mostly breaking balls and the fastball off of those.
Kendall singled his first time. Part of that 2-run second inning. The pitch sliced foul at a play to the right side. A little tardy on that fastball. And it's still 0-2. It'll be Kendall followed by Bloomquist and Betancourt, the lower part of the batting order for Trey Hillman's Kansas City Royals. 9-14 to start the season. The April record of the Rays a season ago. Here's a swing and a one-hopper to second, flagged by Brignac. Fires over the first in time, 1 out.
Looking for a place to celebrate your kid's birthday? Well, why not a Carvel birthday party at Tropicana Field with the Rays? For more information, contact a group sales account executive at 727-825-3406. Like Devin, who is just in the booth with us.
It's nice when people stop by. Usually during the season, we don't get a lot of opportunities to walk through the office and see everybody. Here's Willie Bloomquist, reached on a fielder's choice. Nice play by Brignac to the hole. To get the force at second. The first pitch, a backdoor breaking ball into for strike one. Rays will have another home game tomorrow, and then they'll hit the road for a while again, out to the West Coast. The 0-1 pitch, swinging a slicer foul over toward the Rays dugout, and the count 0-2. The Rays, after the game tomorrow, will leave for the West Coast on Monday. That's going to be just one long, possibly brutal trip. Seattle, Oakland, and then the visit to Anaheim to take on the Angels. The 0-2 pitch, swinging a foul. He kind of threw the bat at that one. Stays alive, and we'll do it again. West Coast has not been all that kind to the Rays over the last couple of seasons. We know how much trouble the Rays have had in Anaheim. They've had their issues in Seattle last year. And then Oakland has been kind of hit or miss. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a chopper toward third. Evan waits on it. Takes a chest-high hop. His throw across in time to get a hustling Bloomquist. And there's two gone.
Well, what I learned today, Dave, this is going to be the first time in Rays history that they're going to all three West Coast cities in one trip. And the reason I find it interesting is because growing up in an American League East town in Baltimore, that's the way it was every year. You would make 2 trips to the West Coast to play all 3 teams. But since this kind of scheduling came in with the 3 divisions, it just doesn't happen anymore. But it's going to happen this time.
No, and go figure. Why hasn't it happened? I mean, this is the furthest team in the South and East in the American League. Why wouldn't you set it up so that you can go to the West Coast once and knock out all 3 teams? First pitch on its way to Uneski Betancourt, and it's a little bit low for a ball.
The Rays will go to the West again later in the year, but just for Oakland and the Angels. But only 1 trip to Seattle this season.
Betancourt knocked in a run with a ground ball to short. 2-2 our score. We're in the top of the 4th here at Tropicana Field. Seats still filling in. The pitch swung out and lifted to left field, but Carl Crawford's going to come in and get underneath it to make the catch to retire the side. Back-to-back 3-up, 3-down innings for David Price. We get to the bottom of the 4th. 2-2 our score on the Rays Baseball Network.
Rays Deal Zone dining partner for today's game is The Venue in Clearwater, home to restaurants Takara and Viaggio. Log on to racebaseball.com right now and purchase a $50 gift card to The Venue for just $25. Our thanks to The Venue, a valued dining partner of the Rays. Bring in your ticket stub after a Rays home game and receive a complimentary drink.
You know, we've always been kind of ripped off in that regard. Because that happened a couple of times during the spring with some of the establishments in Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda. So here's B.J. Upton, and the first pitch to him is swung and a miss for strike one, where they say, come on in, and were you at the game today? And you say, yeah. And then they say, well, you got a ticket stub? No, we're doing the games. Well, you need a ticket stub. Pitch to Upton, swung and missed. He's behind in the count, 0-2. B.J. walked and scored the first of the 2 runs for the Rays today. 2-2 our score here in the 4th.
If you flash your credential, it didn't work.
Don't you know who I am? Drop that on him. Here's a pitch outside. 1-2. I said, excuse me, but I sure would like a triple ops brewed Miller Lite. And they still didn't buy into it. The 1-2 pitch, there's a strike 3 called. Upton caught looking at a fastball down around the knees, and he's out number 1 here in the 4th. Sorry. Is that our first caught third strike today?
I believe it was.
It was.
And you know what that means. Thanks to the Richard and Sharon Family
I guess
Foundation.
we're supposed to wait and see for the opposition.
That's right. That's for them. But we can still thank them.
Well, there's like a barrier. I guess we're not allowed to say when the Rays get caught looking. We're supposed to say it when the opponent gets caught looking. So Upton is out number 1. Pat Burrell swings and fouls the first pitch off. He's behind in the count 0-1. Now he fouls this pitch right behind us, and it's quickly 0-2. So that's where you got to draw the line. So Burrell behind in the count 0-2. There's Andy. Getting a shot of our nice schedule up here in the booth. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball down in the way. Burrell will walk his first time. The Rays trail in the hit column but are tied in the run column, and that's all that matters right now. The 1-2 pitch way outside, bounced that one in as well, and the count 2-2 strikes. Starting to see some better at bats out of Pat Burrell too over the past week to 10 days. He's been working a lot with Derek Shelton, and again, you got to go with what Joe Madden mentions, is that this guy's not just sitting around doing anything. Now they found it. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a tapper kind of plate. I mean, we've been around guys that have report times 4:20, stretch times 4:20. They're walking in at 4 o'clock, and then they are out. They're walking out the door before we're getting out of the way of their car in the parking lot. Yep. Pat Burrell is not one of those guys. The 2-2 pitch, fastball inside corner, strike 3 called, and Davies has caught a couple of Rays looking on pretty good fastballs down and in, 2 out.
And 3 strikeouts in a row. He fanned Pena to end the 3rd. So 2 quick outs in the Rays 4th.
So 2 outs and the base is empty. Reed Brignac. Steps up to the plate. Reed with a bloop single over the head of the shortstop Yuniesky Betancourt his first time. That knocked in a run. There's a pitch outside for ball 1. Reed starting to play with more and more confidence. Was the El Lopez winner for spring training, is the best rookie in camp, and deservedly so. Takes that pitch for a strike. 1-1 strike. Davies working quickly. Here's the pitch. Swinging a foul back out of play.
He and John Jaso are the only 2 rookies amongst the position players. And amongst the pitchers, it's just Wade Davis. So 3 official rookies on the Rays. And a lot of people thought that Sean Rodriguez was going to be a rookie, but he's played too much to have that classification.
1-2 pitch. Tried to sneak the fastball by him there, and it's a little bit low with the count 2-2 strikes. Rays tied it with the benefit of a leadoff walk in the 3rd. Now the 2-2 pitch to Brignac. A swing and a chopper toward first. Backhanded by Butler. He'll flip to Davies covering, and he's there in time to retire the side. So Davies puts together his first 1-2-3 inning of this outing. We're done with 4. Tied at 2 on the Rays Baseball Network. Send Ray's All-Star Ben Zobrist to your child's classroom with a Take Zobrist to School contest presented by Metro PCS. You can sign up at any Bay Area Metro PCS location or guest services at Tropicana Field for a chance to take Zorilla to your kid's class. Metro PCS, wireless for all. Again, you can sign up at any Bay Area Metro PCS location or guest services. Call the play. Here in the 5th. Here's Andy.
Hi, Dave. Thank you very much. It's Chris Getz going to start it off against David Price, lefty versus lefty, and Andy pours a fastball in for 0-1. Price has done a remarkable turnaround from the first 2 innings to get the Royals in order in the 3rd and the 4th. And that fastball sails outside 1-1, and he's gone to much more off-speed stuff. Didn't have great fastball command early, but the curve and the slider have appeared. There's a fastball away. It's all fastballs so far to Getz. 2 balls, 1 strike.
You know, he's not exactly pitching backwards where he's using his curveball to set up his fastball, but he is incorporating the off speed a heck of a lot more.
2-1 fastball swung on and foul tipped, and it's 2-2. Getz with an RBI bunt single, a 2-out RBI bunt single back in the 2nd. Double the Royal lead. The Rays have since caught them. 2-2. Comes Price whining and throwing. Fastball away, and it's 3-2. So full count to Getz. Top of the order to Jesus and Podsednik to follow. And again, Price from the line. Here he comes. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Fastball, and that is the first strikeout of the night for David Price. So he blew him away. And I don't think he felt at all that Getz could hit his fastball in that sequence, which is why he kept going to it.
And that's one of the first swings and misses at a strike. Now, there's been a swing and miss, a couple of them at pitches outside the zone, but I think that's the first one that was actually in the strike zone. And he got a swing and miss on, and that should build up his confidence a little bit.
Gets his first K, and here is David Jesus. Left-hand batter and the leadoff hitter looks at a called strike, and Price reaching the slider in, and it's 0-1. Jesus walked, and he's flied to left, both times taking Price to the limit on 3-2 counts. The kick, here he comes. Curve, he left it high. 1-1. It is very difficult to learn in the major leagues. Commanded that big roundhouse curveball that Price has. But if you heard our interview with Joe Madden before the game today, you know, Joe is rooted, his whole career is rooted in player development. And that includes now on the major league level. It's a fastball too high, 2-1. I mean, Joe spent all those years in the minor leagues with the Angels, but heavily involved with developing players, as many more players do now, developing in the major leagues. It's part of the reason why he is such a perfect pick as manager for this young Rays team. There's a lot of development still going on. Pitch is lying foul off 3rd out of plate. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. And once that becomes your base in baseball, I think you become very, very valuable. And to turn that in, to combine that with all of Joe's traits as a manager, that player development stuff is enormous. Price is 2-2. He's high. Full count for the 3rd straight time against Jesus.
Well, I was talking to one of the Rays roving pitching instructors, Dick Bosman, who's been with the organization for 10 years now. And he said, oh, what a difference this new regime has made. And he said, a lot of it starts with Joe Madden and the fact that he does have that development background. But he said Andrew Friedman, Mitch Lukovich, all those guys know the importance.
Price is 3-2, fouled away into the upper deck off 3rd, and we'll do it again 3-2.
And he says, you know, one of the things they like right now is that, well, free reign probably is not the term to use, but he says, you know what, we have been given instructions to teach and to get these guys ready and to develop, and we're really allowed to do it the way we think is the best.
Paying dividends. 3-2 the count. Here's Price throwing, swinging a ground ball slashed along 3rd. Longoria right next to the bag. Here's his low throw, and Pena couldn't scoop it. And Jesus is aboard, and that might be an E5.
Might be again. If it's there in time, if it's there, it's an out. And Carlos just couldn't pick it out of the dirt. And it looked like Evan kind of short-armed it a little bit. You know, dropped to the side a little bit and just got it in the dirt. It's one of those things where if you're going to be low with it, you wanted to maybe hit off with a turf and have a little more of a longer hop. The short hop, Carlos couldn't take it out. But, you know, Dick Bosman was, you know, talking about a lot of the young pitchers the Rays have, not only like guys like Jeremy Hellickson that everybody seems to know about at AAA, but some of the guys, a handful of guys they have right now at Port Charlotte that Neil Allen is working with, and raving about the group that the Rays have up and coming.
So runner at first for Scott Podsednik, going to throw to first. And Jesus is back. Just 1 for 1 at stolen base attempts this season. The Rays and Royals tied up at 2 here in the top of the 5th inning. 1 out and 1 on. Price out of the send position for the first time since the 2nd inning. Right up to throw to first, and Jesus is back. Jesus, who has stolen as many as 11 bases in a year for the Royals. We're not a huge stolen base guy, but he can motor. And you hold him on at first. Jesus kicking off with his lead. Price's pitch to Podsednik. Reach for, tapped out to second. Brignac to Bartlett 1. Here's his quick turn to first. Not in time. Podsednik just too fast and beat it out cleanly. 4-6 fielder's choice, 2 away.
Brignac tried to get rid of it as quickly as could, and he kind of, shot put it toward second base, and a bang play at first. We see the replay here, and it looked like Podsednik just got the foot down ahead of the throw. Yesterday I thought there was a questionable call at second base on the stolen base by Longoria. Brian O'Nora, the umpires want to be on the inside of the bag to make that call, and it's a better spot possibly for double plays, but I think it's a real bad spot for stolen bases, and I don't think O'Nora saw the fact that Longoria got his foot in before the tag was put down yesterday.
Here's Billy Butler with 2 down. Ball 1 outside at a big burly right-handed batter. It's 1-0.
There have been a lot of close plays at first base over the last few days, and I think they've gotten a majority of them right. We just see the replay here in our booth, and again, the umpire's going on the inside part of the bag. I think works for double plays, but I think it's a totally brutal spot trying to catch on stolen bases.
Here's a 1-0 curveball in for a strike to Butler, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. But I don't think it's going to change.
Well, Jim McKeon said the old American League umpires, when there was a difference, used to come in, and they would be in the outfield to make that call. And I really don't see how an umpire who would be able to move around a little bit behind the bag wouldn't be able to see if indeed on a transition if he had the bag and the ball. I mean, I think it'd be easier to see that from the outside than it is to try to call whether or not a guy's safe or out on a stolen base.
Go to first, and again, Podsednik back in.
If you think about it, it's the only time an umpire is actually on the inside part of a bag or a plate to make a call.
They're usually back behind it. 1 ball and 1 strike. The count here to Butler, who is singled, and then Ben Zobrist dove to the turf to retire him in the 3rd. Another step off and fake to first by Price. Podsednik is 8 out of 9 at stolen base tries this year. It is really one of the better stolen base guys of his time. Has stolen as many as 70 in a season. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's going, and they throw to first. Pena's got it on to second, and Brignac tags him out. So Price, who does not really have a plus move to first, but Podsednik going on first motion, and Price finally got him. 1-3-6. The Royals retired in the 5th. Into the home 5th we go. It's the Rays and the Royals tied at 2 on the Rays Radio Network.
of the Tampa Bay Rays. Rays and Royals tied at 2 as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. And again, ZZ Top after the ball game. So if you're still looking for something to do on this Saturday night, come on in and listen to the concert. And might be doing a little singing myself later on tonight.
Here or elsewhere? Here's Deanna Navarro taking a called strike. It's 0-1.
Probably elsewhere. I just remember last week that the folks at the Hayes Family Sports Cafe in Lutz, over there in Lutz Lake Fern, they got our broadcast on in the restaurant, in the bar.
Looks at a strike, and it's 0-2.
They've got the radio on because it's not on television, so they pump it through the PA in the restaurant. So hi to all the folks at the Hayes Family Sports Cafe over there in Lutz who are listening to us tonight.
Pulling for the Rays, no doubt. 2-2 the score in the bottom of the 5th. And time called. Navarro.
You ever do karaoke?
No, that's not. No one. It's not good for anyone.
No
karaoke. 0-2 the count. And a check swing, the ball low and inside. It's 1-2. Navarro reaching on a fielder's choice in the second.
Now that you're a big Johnny Cash fan, we could probably sneak in a couple of Johnny Cash songs.
Oh, I sing. I just make sure that it's with nobody around. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Davies pitches, swung on a list. Navarro chased a fastball down. Might have had a little wrinkle to it. 5th strikeout for Kyle Davies. And 4 of them have come within the last 5 batters.
Well, again, that ball bouncing in, and I think, again, Navarro, you sit there and you watch from the dugout for a little while, and you get an idea that, each of the couple of previous batters, when he had 2 strikes, he tried to pump a fastball down against you. And I think, again, Navi had the mindset that I was going to swing at anything down, and it bounced up there.
Jason Bartlett looks at strike 1 call from Davies. It's 0-1. Bartlett is grounded to third, flying to right, stranding a couple of runners aboard of the 2nd inning. And the pitch, curveball down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 here to Bartlett, then Crawford. Kyle Davies settling into a little groove here since the 3rd inning. And here's a ball 2 low. 2 balls, 1 strike. He has walked 4 batters tonight, and 2 of them have scored. Rays had the 2 runs. The 2-1 is ripped into left base hit, past the reach of Betancourt at short, and into the hole between short and third. And Jason Bartlett, who is just so much better when he's hitting that kind of ball, liners and sharp grounders, versus when he fly to right to the second. So 1 out, 1 on. It'll bring up Carl Crawford.
Well, that type of swing right there was a big reason why he hit 320 a season ago, getting on top of the baseball, not trying to hit out of the ballpark, and just squaring it up and hitting a nice line drive through the hole on the left side of the infield.
So the Rays have the go-ahead run aboard, and here's Carl Crawford. He came into the night hitting at 337. He has struck out on a tough curve and walked and scored. He takes fastball high, 1-0.
Enrique Bolio, one of our Spanish broadcasters, he sang at Hayes Family Sports Cafe, sang a little Santana one night.
I would love to be able to sing, but I can't do it. 1 ball, no strikes. There's a swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. I mean, I use my voice for a living, but I don't know how good it is at holding a tune. I don't know how good it is doing this, for that matter.
Just have him play the music loud.
That's it. But in the car, wow. I got a whole concert going on. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kenny to Crawford. Bartlett draws a throw over to first and a high throw. Butler has to reach up to get it.
All right, in the car, what's your favorite song to sing?
Anything.
Do you have one?
Whatever comes on. If I'm in a mood where music is playing, I just let it loose. Like they say, sing as if no one's listening.
Thank goodness, huh?
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike to Crawford. And the pitch, curveball wrapped on the ground to second, but has it to Betancourt. 1, throw on to first. They won't get him. He beats the back end of a double play chance. A fielder's choice, 4-6. And the inning alive for Ben Zobrist.
Well, how many times have we said this? But 90% of Major League Baseball players probably would have been doubled up on that ground ball. It was hit sharply to second. The second baseman, Chris Getz, hardly had to move. He had to maybe take a step to his left. But he got off a very strong throw to second base, and Betancourt has a plus arm over there at second base on the turn, and yet it wasn't even close.
Now we'll see if Crawford is running with Ben Zobrist to the plate. He'll draw a throw. Ben single on the first pitch he saw last time. Rocketed it to right field, and Crawford made it all the way to third to score the tying run. Ben walked in the first. Here's the stretch from Kyle Davies, and a throw to first and Crawford back.
Our Our nightly contribution from Mike Griffin, who's part of our TV crew, wants to know if you sing Miley Cyrus when you're driving around.
I like the climb.
You'll get into the climb?
I can get into that.
Yeah? I like your other song.
It's talented. What can you say? Here's Ben Zobrist. And ball 1-0. One ball to no strikes to count here to Zobrist.
Look that one up.
What do you like to sing? You're a big 80s
Almost anything.
Guy. One ball to no strikes here to Zobrist. With the outfield playing him to pull. And the pitch, fastball that's in for a strike. Davies at 90 pitches. Trying to get through the 5th inning.
I think our anthem of 08 was, Kid Rock's All Summer Long.
Mm-hmm.
I used to
it's perfect for that.
bellow that one out every once in a while. One night at Hayes Family Sports Cafe, I did sing Katy Perry's. So
you like that?
I did.
Can you hold a tune? I've never really heard it.
A couple of songs. I'm a little rough around the edges, but there's a couple of songs I could belt out. Friends in Low Places used to be
that's a good
highly requested song. 1
ball and 1 strike to count here to Ben Zobrist. 2 down in the 5th inning and a 2-2 tie. Crawford away at first. Watching him some more as Davies holds. Crawford is going to the pitch, high and away. Throw to second by Kendall. And Crawford is out because of the tag from Bencourt. The throw sailed off to the right, and Bencourt to his left caught it and swept the tag on Crawford's body as he slid on by. Caught stealing 2-6. Bencourt with a check plus in the fielding column. At the end of 5, it's the Rays and Royals tied at 2 on the Rays Radio Network.
Greatness at Miller Lite displays at participating retailer locations. Where do I sign up?
Man, that's some prize.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell anybody about it from now on because I want to win.
Billy Butler swings and misses at Price's first offering here in the 6th, and it'll be Butler, Guillen, and Cayaspo in a 2-2 tie. The Rays get the bullpen going. Grant Balfour is loosening. And the pitch is rolled foul left side, and Butler behind 0-2.
I'm really digging those new aluminum pints, too, with the Rays logo on them. Sharp. It's almost, you almost don't want to recycle them or drink them because they're just good looking.
0-2 the count here to Butler. The left-hander's pitch up and inside, bends him back a touch, and it's 1-2. Price will cross the 100 pitch barrier here in the 6th inning. This will be number 97. Here he comes. Swinging, he pops him up. Shallow right, going into foul territory is Carlos Pena. Looks like he's got a play, and one away.
Well, you'd love to see David get through this inning. Again, You know, of his 96, 97 pitches right now, not a lot of them have been under duress, and a lot of them were in the first couple of innings when he's still trying to find his way. He's been pretty much on cruise control since the second inning. And I would imagine that Joe would like to get him through this sixth inning if there's no uprising. And then you turn it over to the bullpen for the final 9 outs of regulation.
And here now is Jose Guillen, who's grounded to third and flied to center, each time taking the count full. At first pitch, fastball a little high, 1 ball, no strikes, actually curveball. And 1 ball, no strikes. Guillen 1 for 9 in the series, but the one was a big one, a booming double. Just tied the game in the 7th last night. And here's another one that stays high. It's 2 balls, no strikes. This will be number 100 on the night for David Price. Here it comes. Swing and a miss at the fastball. It's 2-1. Guillen has a large strike zone. There's a lot that he will offer it. That's why the strikeouts are usually fairly high and the walks are low, but 7 home runs, tied for 3rd in the league. Price deals 2-1. Swinging a foul off the end of the bat towards the middle deck. Paul Konerko leading the way with 11 home runs in the American League. He's leading the National. There's some big home run totals in the American League right now. The National, Kelly Johnson, that's right, the new acquisition for the Diamondbacks, is 9. Used to be with the Braves. Price's 2-2 pitch, curveball, rolled it foul. Out in front, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Guillen with the 7 was passed today by Andrew Jones of the White Sox, who now has 8 home runs. He had a pair. He must be thinking it's the 96 World Series in New York again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Price's pitch. Swinging a slow grounder toward Longoria. Charging and fields. Off balance flip. Easily gets him 2 down.
Having to really reach down and almost behind him to get that one. And stumbled a bit before he got his feet back underneath him and made that throw. Again, I don't know if there's a better third baseman right now coming in on a baseball than Evan Longoria.
He had plenty of time and he knew who was running. Guillen does not run that well right now, so he certainly had plenty of time. It was 2 down, nobody on. And the Rays and Royals tied at a pair. And here's Alberto Callaspo batting righty, and he takes a cold strike. Konerko has 11. Robinson Cano had a great month, has 8 homers. Vernon Wells with 8. And now Andrew Jones with 8. And Guillen tied with Nelson Cruz and Alex Gonzalez. Here's a pitch inside. And 1 ball, 1 strike. The Rays' top home run guys are Longoria and Pena, 5 apiece. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here to Callaspo. Price turns the body and deals. Curved him, and he's low. Now 2-1.
Well, David has thrown as many as 111 pitches in a game. That was in the opener, his first start against New York.
Coming home on the 2-1. Breaking ball chucked out to the right side. Routine for Brignac to his left. He throws him out to retire the side. Price to 108. It was complete game win last time out. That was number 107. But he is his team right in the game. At the end of 5.5, KC 2, Rays 2 on the Rays Radio Network.
Rays and Royals tied at 2 as we get ready to hit here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The 6th inning brought to you by our good friends at Miller Lite. Crack open a great taste of Miller Lite. Come out tomorrow for Family Fun Day, presented by the St. Petersburg Times. The first 10,000 kids 14 and under receive a flying Carl Crawford, presented by RE/MAX. Visit RaysBaseball.com to get your tickets today for tomorrow's game between the Rays and the Royals.
Ben Zobrist was batting when Carl Crawford was caught stealing to end the 5th, and he leads off with a called strike against Kyle Davies here in the 6th. And 1 strike to count. Longoria, Pena to follow here. Big batters coming up for the Rays. And Zobrist sends a little tap route in front of the plate. Down the mound to get it is Davies, and his throw to first, backhanded out of the dirt by Butler. 1 away. It was going to be close. Ben with a great hustle up the line and got a good break out of the box, but Davies, to his credit, able to barehead it, and Butler saved his bacon.
He got a real good grip on it. Didn't make a great throw, kind of threw a worm burner over to first base, but Butler, not really known for his glove work, was able to pick it out. I mean, he's got one big first baseman's glove on, though. It's like a bushel basket over there.
He needs it. And with 1 out and no one on here in the 6th inning, up steps Evan Longoria. With Balfour back up in the Rays pen, we may have seen the last of David Price tonight. Evan takes in the dirt to the backstop, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, this might be Davies' final inning as well. He's at 94 pitches.
He's only gone across 100 once his last time out. Only allowed 1 hit over 6 innings last time. He's only allowed 3 hits tonight. And the 1-0. Off speed is low. 2 balls, no strikes to Longoria. Twice grounded out. One of them got in a run, but as you may know, if you're not going to run on a double play, grounded into double play, you don't get the RBI. 2 balls and no strikes. He takes above the belt, 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes here to Longoria. And then Pena. Upton would follow. Davies with the over-the-head wind-up and throws ball 4 high. So a 4-pitch walk to Longoria. That's the 5th walk of the night by Kyle Davies.
Well, let's see if the Rays can get a little something going here. They may be getting on the phone the bullpen for Kansas City. Tomorrow we're on the air at 1 o'clock with a pregame show. Rich Herrera will have it for you. And then at about 1:40, Andy and I will take over with a play-by-play. Wade Davis is going to start for the Rays. He's 2-1 with a 3.68 ERA. Zach Greinke, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, still looking for his first win, went 0-2 during the month of April with a 2.56 ERA. He's left a couple of games with a lead in his bullpen, unable to hold it. So it's Davis against Greinke tomorrow, 1 o'clock pregame, 1:40 for the first pitch. And again, it's a family fun day. So make your plans to come on out here tomorrow afternoon and make it a little tough on Zach Greinke.
Here's Carlos Pena with 3 men to the right side of the infield for the Royals, and a swing and a miss, kind of a 3/4 cut. That's 2 at-bats in a row where Carlos, on the first pitch, wasn't truly committed to his swing. Royals have right-handed Brad Thompson, left-handed Bruce Chen warming up in their bullpen down the left field line. There's ahead of Pena, 0-1. With a strikeout last time, Pena 0 for 2, fly to left in the 2nd. 2-2 game. We're in the home 6th. Longoria away at first, draws the throw, and back he dives in.
Carlos in the series now with his 0 for 2 today, just 1 for 8. He has walked at one time, but even on the homestand now, just 5 for his last 27.
After a terrific road trip. 0-1 to count. Davies to the letter high set. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss at a change. Pulled the string, and Carlos way out in front. And it's 0-2. So 2 strikes to counter to Carlos Pena. Davies using a lot of off-speed stuff tonight. His fastball, just enough of them to keep the hitters honest. A lot of off-speed pitches. 0-2. Gets the sign he likes from Kendall. Here's the right-hander home. Taken a little bit low, and not a great reception there for Kendall. I was looking at Jerry Crawford, the home plate umpire, and thought I'd be about to ring him up, but that pitch was not all that far away. 1 ball to 2 strikes here to Pena with B.J. Upton on deck in this tie affair. Outfield very deep, playing him to pull. Carlos does have a home run of his homestand. Time called. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Pena. Levels the bat over home plate, pulls it back and waits. On a 1-2 pitch from Davies. Here it is. Swinging a foul down the left field line and out of play. And let's pause for station identification now. This is the Rays Radio Network. With Dave Wills, I'm Andy Freed. Frank Lover, our engineer. Steve Carney, our network coordinator. And Chris Miller is our production assistant tonight. The Rays and Kansas City Royals tied up at 2 in the home 6th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Pena with Longoria leading away at first. Here it comes to Carlos. Held back, and it's up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And 102 pitches for Davies with double barrel action in the Kansas City bullpen. The bullpens for both teams are going to have a big say in what happens in this one. Balfour ready to come in for the Rays in the 7th. Hits hard to come by for these teams tonight. 2-2 the count. And the pitch popped them up foul to the left side. And into the upper deck it goes. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Which is saying something for both pitching staffs, because for the Royals, they're quieting down one of the hottest hitting teams in baseball the last couple of days. The Rays have been averaging about 6.5 runs a ball game, and really beat up on the Royals the first night in. And then the Royals have been swinging the bat as well as any team on the road, and the Rays have quieted them down.
Yep. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Left-handed batting Pena waiting, and the breaking ball fouled off. He spoiled that one. Going to the top of the zone, and it's 2-2. And you're fighting in there with Davies. And I'm trying to think about how Trey Hillman might want to work this bullpen. I mean, Brad Thompson is slowed down in the pen. I mean, could this be Davies' final batter? You got back-to-back righties in Upton and Burrow, and a lefty in Brignac. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the pitch. Checks his swing, and he held off, and it's full 3-2.
So the question is right here, do you start the runner? They did it yesterday. Pena struck out, Longoria was thrown out. Pena against Brian Bannister.
And Pena struck out in his last at-bat tonight. Chased one down. I'm going to say they will. I mean, I
think they should.
I don't think you stop running just because it hasn't worked a whole lot. I mean, that's a big part of this Rays offense. 3-2. Longoria, not a big lead, though. He is going, and the 3-2 pitch struck him out, throw down to second base, and the tag by Bencourt is too late. The throw bounced in. He wasn't sure he had it in the glove, and only because of that was Longoria able to get in, because he didn't have a great jump, not a great lead, and he was lucky he's got the steal.
No, he was very lucky. That was not a very good throw by Kendall. Again, a very hittable pitch. Carlos just pulled off it. I mean, Carlos starting maybe to get to a point where he's starting to yank again, trying to pull everything, and that pitch was on the outer part of the plate, and it was a pretty hittable pitch, but picked by Bencourt on a low throw again by Kendall, and this time he just couldn't get the tag down.
Wow. So the Rays get the go-ahead runner to scoring position, but 2 out for B.J. Upton, who was walked, scored, and fanned against Davies. And the first pitch to him fouled back on a fastball belt high. It's 0-1.
Well, Trey Hillman is giving Kyle Davies the opportunity to finish this inning out. It's his game right here. And again, 107 pitches for Kyle Davies is the most, or will be the most on the season after this pitch.
Number 108 is coming up. Price with the same amount, threw 6 himself, and he's done for the night, I would think. Davies with a cap off. And now gets ready to toe the rubber. The third base side of it. Longoria would score on most hits to the outfield. The Royals do not have a great throwing outfield. And they're all deep with Upton at the plate. The pitch coming in. Swinging a foul, and BJ is behind in the count now, 0-2.
Well, 2 pretty good pitches that BJ just fouled back. He's not been able to square one up. Yesterday came up with a game on the line and hit a little looper out to center field. And Rays trying to take their first lead of the night here.
0-2 the count to Upton. Standing and waiting as Davies gets the sign from Kendall. Here he comes, way high with a fastball, 1-2. Another 30,000 plus crowd in attendance tonight. And Saturday nights have become traditionally packed now at Tropicana Field. Weekends have been terrific. And this crowd just waiting to explode again tonight. 1-2. A long hold. Here comes BJ. Reach for and comebacker. Right back to Davies. Will flip to Butler and retire the Rays in this 6th inning. So Davies works through the middle of the Rays order, including a walk to Longoria. And gets Pena and Upton to end the frame. We're done with 6. We go to the 7th. It's going to be turned over to the bullpens, I would think. Rays and Royals tied at 2 on the Rays Radio Network. Traveling this season, take the Rays with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Rays game live or on demand on your computer. Visit RaysBaseball.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. In fact, if you order right now, you can see the rest of this game because the Rays and the Royals are tied at 2. As we get ready for the 7th, this call to the bullpen brought to you by Metro PCS. Wireless for all. The totals through 6. Royals 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 3 left. The Rays 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, 4 left. We get ready for the 7th inning. And back in for the play-by-play, here is Dave Wilson.
All right, Andy, thank you. Grant Belfour on to take the spot of David Price. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. A walk and a strikeout mixed in. And Belfour's first pitch to Kendall is a fastball down and away for ball 1. 32-year-old Grant Belfour out of Australia. Last outing a couple of nights ago against Kansas City, when an inning and did not give up a hit. The 1-0 pitch, a bunt, and he bunted it foul. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Kendall 1 for 2. Bloomquist is next. And then Yuniesky Betancourt. 2-4-0 so far for Kansas City. 2-3-1 to this point for the Rays. Randy Choate warming down the right field line. The pitch, fastball high. And it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Grant did not have a real good spring. He's trying to work his breaking pitches into the mix a little more often. He's been doing that here. The 2-1 pitch. Swung out and lifted into the air to center field, but not deep at all. BJ Upton to his right, gets underneath it, makes the catch. 1 out. We have not witnessed the 95, 96 mile an hour fastball from Grant Belfour that we saw on numerous occasions during the 2008 season. But again, over the last couple of years, opponents are hitting under 200 against him. And last year with the Rays, made 73 appearances, the second most in Rays history. Trying to keep it a 2-2 game, as here is Willie Bloomquist, and the first pitch to him is a little high for ball 1. Bloomquist reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning and scored one of the 2 runs in that frame. He's also grounded to third. The wide from Belfour, the 1-0 pitch, and it's up and in. He tried to check up a swing, and he did. It is still Brad Thompson warming up down the left field line for Kansas City. 2-0 the count to Willie Bloomquist. Navarro through the signs, the infield back, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Swung right through a fastball there. And the count 2 balls 1 strike. Looked like he was geared up for a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And he got a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Now the 2-1 offering. Fastball just low and outside. And the count goes to 3 balls 1 strike. Yesterday was a leadoff walk in the 7th inning that started the undoing. I say undoing, but it was the leadoff walk that put a dent in a Jeff Neiman's day. 3-1 pitch, a bunt, and he bunted it foul back off the screen. The count goes full to 3-2. Neiman had been cruising along and then walked David DeJesus to lead off the 7th. They bunted him to second. Base hit by Willie Bloomquist and a double by Jose Guillen put him on the board. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody aboard here in the top of the 7th of a 2-2 game. Belfour ready, the full count pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. You got Bloomquist maybe to chase a pitch that might have been a little low, but the Rays will take it. 2 gone here in the 7th. So 2 gone, nobody aboard. Here's Yuniesky Betancourt. And the first pitch to him is swung and popped foul on a play to the right side for strike 1. Betancourt has knocked in a run. With a grounder to short, he's flied to left. A couple of home runs this year. Average has dropped below 300 after a tough couple of games against the Rays. Now here's the 0-1. Swinging a foul back to the screen, and it's right to 0-2. The Rays in the bottom half of the 7th inning will have the bottom third of their batting order up. Burrell, Brignac, and Navarro, they are the scheduled hitters. And it looks more and more like it's going to be against Brad Thompson. 0-2 the count to Betancourt. Here's the pitch from Belfour, and it bounced that one in. 87-mile-an-hour slider that he tried to make the best he's ever thrown. It's funny, you say that, best he's ever thrown, and there's really a lot of times there's 2 results when you try to really break one of those sliders off. There's either going to be the one like that, where you really kind of just yank it into the ground, or there's going to be the other one where you really try to spin it and it slips, and all it does is tumble up toward the plate, and it usually gets hit pretty hard. The 1-2 pitch, and that bounced in, and the count now 2 balls 2 strikes. You wouldn't think that a slider that you're really trying to spin off would end up, hanging out, but what happens is you try to really break it off at the end of your delivery, and it just kind of slips out of your hands, and it's just a little spinner that ends up out over the middle part of the plate more often than not. The 2-2 to Betancourt. Swing, and he popped him up, foul territory, first base side. Carlos Pena looks to have the beat by the coach's box. Makes the catch to retire the side. 1-2-3 inning for Grant Belfour. 7th inning stretch time here at Tropicana Field. We're tied at 2 on the Rays Baseball Network.
If award-winning beaches were all it had to offer, St. Pete Clearwater would still be a vacationer's dream, but surprises await those who dare to venture beyond. Explore the possibilities at visit stpclearwater.com.
Brad Thompson, the new pitcher for the Kansas City Royals. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Metro PCS. Wireless for all. And Thompson's first pitch to Pat Burrell is in there for strike one. Next one on its way, and that fastball is strike as well. Quickly, 0-2. Thompson suffered the loss in the game the other day, their last home game. Here's the 0-2 pitch, a little bit low. Play skill mesh to start the 7th on Wednesday afternoon, and after a 1-2-3 inning, gave up a double to Milton Bradley, and then took the loss after Bradley scored the go-ahead run. 1-2 the count to Pat the Bat. The pitch, breaking ball missed. And the count leveling at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Burrell, Brignac, and then Navarro. Thompson ready, the 2-2 offering. Swung on and chopped off his foot. So he'll do it again. Thompson, 6'1". They list him at 188 pounds, out of St. Louis, Missouri. The 2-2 pitch. Swinging a little looper towards second and gloved by Getz, who had to move a couple of steps to his left and then jump to make the catch, 1 out. Here's Reed Brignac. Thompson came up through the Cardinals organization, was the 16th round pick of the Cards back in 2002. Made it to the big leagues for a little while in 2005, and it's been part of the last few seasons between St. Louis and Memphis. Right hitter ready, the pitch. Swinging a little looper down the left field line. Floating toward the bullpen, and foul.
David, he was in Double-A the first 2 months of the 2004 season. He gave Drysdale's and, of course, Oral Hershiser's record of consecutive scoreless innings. Drysdale had 58 2/3, Hershiser 59. Thompson had 57 2/3 scoreless innings.
Well, one pitch lifted into the air to left field. Back on it goes Podsednik, but he's got room. Underneath it makes the catch, 2 gone. 2 up, 2 down for the Rays here in the 7th. Well, that was a Southern League record for consecutive scoreless innings. Let's see if I can dig out the other note.
Well, he fell just 2 innings short of breaking an overall minor league record.
And that was a scoreless streak that dated back to the 2003 season. Ended up just a inning and a third shy of Irvin Kaiser Wilhelm's minor league record of 59 innings for Binghamton back in 1907. You ever been to Binghamton?
Binghamton, yeah, but this is Birmingham.
Here's a swing and a loop and line drive in the left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit and roll toward the wall. Cut off on a couple of hops by Bloomquist. Navarro on his way to second, stumbled around the back, but he's going to stay right there.
And how good is that field? That breaks an 0 for 22 for Deanna Navarro.
Yeah, that was for Kaiser's days back in 2007 in Birmingham, not in Binghamton.
How about for Navarro breaking that streak, Dave? And you got to go back to figure out when his last name was, because, of course, he hadn't played since the 23rd. That's the first base hit for Deanna Navarro, and I'm still flipping, since April the 14th, when he got a second inning double in Baltimore. That Wednesday afternoon game was his last hit. So that has got to feel like a piano off his back.
Double off of Brad Ferguson. So he's at second base, representing the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Jason Bartlett 1 for 3 in the game, and the pitch way outside for ball 1. Bartlett grounded out and flied out. And in his last at bat, roped one through the left side of the infield in the left field for a base hit. The 1-0 pitch. Swinging a chopper foul.
Again, Bartlett was hitting .550 with runners in scoring position coming into the game. 0 for 1 in that tonight, so he's still hitting .500. Best in the league, and is the guy you want up right now. You hope he's thinking line drive or sharp grounder.
Infield back, so now he can get a decent-sized lead at second base. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a ground ball to right to short. Betancourt has it. His throw across in time, and we're going to go to the 8th tie. We are done with 7 at St. Pete. 2-2 our score on the Rays Baseball Network.
The Rays radio booth is sponsored by Sleek Audio, music in tune with you. The Rays bring out a new pitcher, and that is left-hander Randy Choate. Grant Balfour with a perfect 7th. As he got one strikeout, Choate on to work now in the 8th. He'll face 3 straight left-handed batters. And with Dan Wheeler warming up in the Rays pen, I think you would see Choate for these 3 lefties, and then whether it's this inning or possibly next, you'd see the right-hander against the next couple of hitters. We're tied at 2. It's getting late on a Saturday night. 34,813 in attendance at the Big House on Saturday night. See if the Rays can pull one out. It's getting late.
So Randy Choate got tagged with a loss in yesterday's game. Comes up here and he'll face Chris Getz first, and then David DeJesus. Scott Podsednik as well. The corners are going to come up. Getz. And a bunt single that knocked in a run. And the first pitch he sees here is taken outside for ball 1. Well, the White Sox, over the last couple of days, we've been talking a little bit about what the White Sox had and what they wanted. What they want. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's called a strike. I mean, instead they want to kind of transition from being a home run team to more of a team that can run a little bit and do some little things. And yet they get away. They get rid of guys like Chris Getz and Scott Podsednik. Say goodbye to them.
Yep. There's the Getz.
1-1 pitch. Swinging a chopper toward third. Knocked down by Longoria. Falls down. Gets up and throws him out. For 1 out. It was almost like Evan was a catcher. Went down to block it. Angled his shoulders down to the ground so that it was smothered in front of him. And then gathered it in. Got up and threw him out. 1 out.
Well, he needed to. That ball was slashed and slashed hard. And Evan, by keeping the hands moving forward and the shoulders and the chest getting big, got his man. Because Getz was moving up the line.
So 1 out, and that'll bring up DeJesus. David today has walked, reached on an error, and flied to left. First pitch on its way from Choate is sliced foul on a play. See the Mark Tompkin note?
I did.
Rays fans have legs on ZZ Top concert night.
That was always one of my very favorite songs.
Great video.
Oh, terrific.
Nothing in 1 to count to DeJesus, the left-handed hitter with pretty much an even stance. Don't see too many of those these days. You see guys either with an open stance or a closed stance. The 0-1 pitch, and it's outside. The count evening up at a ball and a strike. 2 runs on 4 hits for both sides so far. The Rays have committed the game's only error. Kyle Davies walked 5 today. Here's the pitch. Just outside. 2-1. And of those 5 walks, 2 of them came in and scored. Rays' 2 runs scored have been via the free pass. Now Choate ready to pitch. Swing and a miss. And a little out in front of that pitch. And the count leveling at 2-2. Are you staying for the ZZ Top concert today, Paul?
I would like to, and I wish I could.
I had $1 for every time you said that.
Well, I really mean it. I love those guys. I love to meet them.
2-2 the count. You want to be trained, don't you?
I do. I want to be trained. Like August 14th.
2-2 pitch. Swinging a foul at a plate to the left side. So we'll do it again.
The Royals had an interesting note in their game notes today, saying that the Royals were born in 1969, and ZZ Top was starting the same year in Houston, Texas. Dusty Hill, Billy Gibbons, and Frank Beard are here, and they are waiting to take the stage.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count. The pitch on its way. Swing and a little looper toward left. Crawford coming on, and he makes a sliding catch. Near the line, he took away a base hit and maybe more from DeJesus. If he doesn't make the catch, DeJesus probably is standing at second base. 2 gone.
Oh, sure. And then there's always the worry if you slide like that towards the foul line, if you don't get it and then it gets by you, it could be 3 bases. So Crawford, but how many times have we seen CC make that catch over the years? It's one of his patented plays going towards the foul line, and it's like he does a base stealing slide into the turf to hold on to it.
So 2 outs, and here's Podsednik, who has been kept without a hit so far. He did reach, I should say, bounced into a fielder's choice back in the 5th inning. And the first pitch to him here is a strike. And was aboard. Was reached one time on that fielder's choice, but then was picked off by David Price. We're tied at 2 here in the top of the 8th. Thought it'd be a little closer. Longoria in just a step behind the bag at third. Outfield shading him toward left of the pitch. He tried to run up and swat at the pitch, and he fouled it off, and he's behind in the count, 0-2.
So he had Longoria charging at third, and he was going to try to slap it by him.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if by the time he tried to make contact, no, he was still in the box, but he was definitely on the move. Trying to slap it by Longoria on the left side of the infield. Crowd making some noise here at Tropicana Field as Joe tries to get through this 8th inning unscathed. The pitch on its way. Just a little bit low. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, it's his last batter one way or another. Either he gets him here, and we see a right-hander come on to face Butler, or Choate gets the Rays to the 9th.
And he is leaning in now from the first base side of the rubber. Pitches. Breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 3. Podsednik goes down swinging, and the Royals are done in order in the 8th. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Rays and Royals tied at 2 on the Rays Baseball Network.
Pitcher of the night, Brad Thompson, 1 scoreless inning.
And the first pitch to Carl Crawford is a strike. This is again, he was signed as a minor league free agent prior to last season. And then again this year. There's a pitch a little bit low, 1 ball, 1 strike. So, he, 2 years in a row now, I think he's had to make the team as a non-roster invitee. Chen ready, the 1-1 pitch. Check swing and a pitch just outside. He had one of his better starts against the Rays a season ago. Two and 1 the count. The pitch inside, 3-1. Opened the year last year at AAA Omaha and joined the Royals on June the 27th. Now the 3-1 pitch outside, ball 4. Gets away from Kendall. Not far enough for Crawford to go anywhere but first base, but that's a huge start to the inning for the Rays. They get their leadoff hitter aboard on a walk. And again, as we said, of the walks, the Rays have scored both of their runs thanks to getting on board with a free pass.
6 walks by Rays hitters tonight. So even though they have just 4 hits, they've had 10 base runners. And Chandler got his first career save last Monday in his 261st career game. This is a guy who, kind of like Kyle Davies, came up as a big prospect with the Atlanta Braves and has since traveled around. But not many pitchers have traveled more than Bruce Chen during his time in the major leagues.
Have left arm will travel. Throw to first. Crawford back. Carl's been caught stealing today. That's now 4 caught stealings. Talked about how he was working on getting a better jump at first. And here's the pitch on its way to Zobrist, and it floats in there for a strike. Ben still looking for his first home run. Zobrist had 27 a season ago. Infield looking at turn 2. Crawford being held on by Butler at first. Chen from the stretch. Now the 0-1 pitch. Taking low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's interesting, Dave. The Rays have Rafael Soriano warming at the bullpen. And I wonder if the game is tied as we go to the 9th, if Soriano will be brought in. It's looking likely. There will certainly be a right-hander. So I would think Soriano, if it's a tie or the lead, for probably just 1 inning, though. If we go extras, somebody else.
Crawford a little bigger lead at first, and it'll prompt a throw from Chen. 2-2 our score. Well, Soriano got dinged up a little bit yesterday, and he said, hey, you know what? We're not going to win every day, and I'm not going to be perfect every day. Just got to forget about it and move on. And classic case of a closer having to have a short memory. Now the 1-1. Zobrist didn't pull the trigger. Took a pitch, I think, outside.
Close pitch.
2 balls, 1 strike to count to the Rays right fielder today.
Chen is not throwing hard at all. He's throwing into the mid-80s right now at his hardest.
Never really a burner. Big hole on the right side of the infield as the 2-1 pitch will have to wait through the first. And again, Crawford back. The Rays would love to take the lead here. They've got the middle part of the Royals order coming up in the 9th inning.
Right, the Rays get a chance with their middle of the order before the Royals get a chance with theirs.
Now the pitch to Zobrist. Taken inside, and it's 3-1. This again is where Ben has to zone it up.
And again, the Royals giving Chen no safety net. I mean, there's no one warming behind him in the pen. This is his inning. Whether he gives up runs or not.
It's amazing.
And I'm mistaken, actually. Now they get the bullpen going, just as we say that.
Now the 3-1. Ben takes a strike. It's 3-2. Of all the folks in the starting lineup today, Deanna Navarro has 2 runs batted in. He is the only one who has less than Ben Zobrist. Zobrist has 10. Brignac picked up his 11th earlier today. It's not an RBI situation necessarily right here, but Crawford is at first. Let's see if he's going on a 3-2 pitch, and now time call. This is where Ben has to take his walk if presented. Do not help out Bruce Chen, and he wants you to try to chase. Crawford a little bigger lead at first. Another throw to first, and again, CC is good.
Well, 10 pitches by Chen, 7 out of the strike zone. So you're right, you can't help him out here. Well, he tantalizes you for that slow stop.
Lean in now. The left-hander comes set. Crawford again a big lead, and he doesn't go. Another throw to first. With Butler holding on, Crawford, if you hit anything to the right side of the infield, it's going to go through for a base hit because Butler does not get off the bag in a hurry. If you hit one along the line, you're going to be out of luck because he stays right there. Crawford does not go, and the pitch is swung on and fouled back.
And anything you hit to the opposite side is probably going to get Crawford all the way to third base. If you look how deep the right fielder DeJesus is playing, single to right gets first and third.
3-2 the count. Let's see if CC has a better feel right now for Bruce Chen's move. A little flat foot on that last pitch. A little bigger lead. Here's the pitch on its way. Does not go again. And it's swung and lifted into left field for a base hit. So Zobrist singles to left. Crawford will stop at second. The Rays have 2 on, nobody out. And Evan Longoria coming up.
Well, the Rays just could not have a better situation right now. And with Tejeda warming in the bullpen, Chen will get Longoria and Pena, and after that you'll see Tejeda, I would think. But in the meantime, conferences break out. The catcher Kendall to the mound, the middle infield of Getz and Betancourt coming in, and the Rays have a golden opportunity staring at them in the face. And it's up to Longoria, who has into a double play, walked and grounded to third to drive the baseball. Oh, wait a minute, I'm mistaken. It is Hellman going to come out and get Tejeda in right now. He sees the game looking at him in the face and saying it with the right-hander in, and then he'll worry about Pena then. So Bruce Chen faces two batters and removed. Not exactly what they were hoping for, but the Rays have the situation right there where they want it. And the right-hander Tejeda coming on to pitch to Longoria. It is called to the bullpen, brought to you by Metro PCS, wireless for all. It's 2-2, the Royals and the Rays, with the Rays rallying. 2 on, none out, bottom of the 8th. And back in a moment on the Rays Radio Network. Against Chen, he singles to left, advancing Crawford the go-ahead run to second. And the Rays are going to get a couple of chances here to drive in the go-ahead run and put the game on ice. And they've got their top two RBI men coming to the plate, Evan Longoria, then Pena and Upton. You just could not ask for a better situation than right now.
Tejeda came up with the Philadelphia Phillies, went to Texas for a while, and has been with Kansas City since the 08 season. Longoria today has bounced into a double play that knocked in the second Rays run. He did not get credit for the double or for the RBI in the double play. Runners take their leads at first and second as Tejeda comes set. Now the first pitch to Longo is swung on and raked foul. The third base side for strike one.
Look at the first pitch fastball like he did last night against Joaquin Soria.
Good news in Baltimore. The Royals have just scored 3 times in the bottom half of the 5th inning to tie their game up at 4. Wow. Wigginton is at a home run there.
What a year he's had, huh? Wasn't even playing much when the season began.
Now Tejeda with the 0-1. Longoria takes low and they count 1 ball, 1 strike.
Wigginton's got 7 home runs right now. He got hot against the Rays. We got him going.
We have the most on the Rays if we were still with us.
Right.
Hope he has at least 1 more in him today, maybe.
And I have now Orioles 7, Red Sox
2. Here's the 1-1 to Longo on its way. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. So
Yankees
6-run 5th inning, and Matt Wieters is just in a home run. His second.
Yankees have already lost their game today, a 1-run affair to the White Sox. So talk about opportunities all over the place in this inning and chance to gain ground in the AL East.
I was watching some of that Yankees-White Sox game, and it was the Yankees guys who were saying, it's too early to score. I don't think so. Crawford leads at second. Zobrist at first. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Evan got out in front of a 91-mile-an-hour fastball and swung through, and the count opening at 2-2.
But it was a little bit towards the outside. Evan looked like he was trying to pull that baseball and jerk it, and you're not going to do it in that location.
Infield looking at turn 2. They're playing Getz close to second base to try and keep Crawford close. And now time call. The outfield at normal depth, playing pretty much straight away from Longoria, who does have power to all fields. Kansas City scored twice in the second. Rays are running the second and third. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Inside, and the count goes full of 3-2. Crawford walked to start this inning. Zobrist took a base hit to left field on 3-2. A third pitcher used out of the bullpen for Trey Hillman after Kyle Davies went 6 innings, scattered 3 hits, 2 runs, walked 5, struck out 6. See if the runners go here on 3-2. The hitter ready, the pitch. They do not. Swung on and missed, strike 3. As Longoria chased after what might have been ball 4.
Well, he put the pitch even farther outside than the last one he had swung on and missed. That's a big out to hit in the Rays.
Big strikeout. Chase a pitch that had some great movement. I mean, you see why Evans swung. It looked like it started at one side of the plate and went to the other. And it wasn't a cut or anything. That was just the way that he pitched it. Hard to lay off a pitch like that. See if Carlos can come through. He's 0 for 3 in the game. Now 1 for 9 in the series. And his pitch. Swing and a line drive. Caught by Getz. They'll double up Crawford at second, and that will end the inning. Oh, my. Pena hit it well, but Getz led him perfectly, and the Rays are denied here in the 8th. Go to the 9th, tied at 2 on the Rays Baseball Network. Rays had first and second, nobody out there. 4 or 5 hitters coming up and end up with nothing. And now we'll have to try to see if Rafael Soriano can hold off the Royals here in the 9th. Soriano, again, a little shaky in yesterday's game as he ran into a little trouble in the 9th inning when he took over from Randy Choate. Gave up the hit to Billy Butler, then he hit Jose Guillen. Sac fly to Callejo. Well, he wasn't tagged with the loss. He was on the mound when those winning or those go-ahead runs came in. So he goes to work here, looking to get a little retribution here in the 9th. And well, the play-by-play, here's Andy.
All right, Dave, thank you. And the Royals get their big hitters up now in the 9th. Billy Butler to start it against Soriano. First pitch, fastball inside, 1-0. And the Royals get Soria, their closer, warming up. Tied at 2 here in the 9th. And the 1-ball, no-strike pitch. Inside, almost hit him. It's 2-0.
Well, the reason the Rays were on a roll was because those situations that they had themselves in the 8th inning usually turned into runs. And the reasons why they were on the roll was because the other team who had situations like that didn't take advantage of it.
2 balls, no strikes. Now the pitch. Swinging a slice liner, looped into right, base hit. Billy Butler, the go-ahead run, is aboard to begin the 9th inning.
You wonder if they're going to run for him. There are a couple of guys on the bench, maybe they are going to run for him.
Alex Gordon is going to run for Billy Butler and then probably stay in to play first base in the home ninth. They pinch ran Willie Bloomquist last night, but he's already been in the game. So Butler aboard to start the frame. And Alex Gordon over to run. And here's Jose Guillen, a very frightening hitter to face right now. Soriano against Guillen. Guillen 0 for 1 career, but remember, he was 0-2 yesterday, and then Soriano hit him with a pitch. Here's a swing and a foul right side, and shooting by the Rays dugout. It's 0-1. Orioles are done in the bottom of the 5th. They score 6 times. Homer twice against Daisuke Matsuzaka, and the Orioles lead Boston 7-4 as they go to the 6th. Camden Yards. 0-1 the count here to Guillen, who's 0 for 3 tonight, 1 for 10 in the series. Soriano's pitch, swing and a miss of the slider. It's 0-2. All right, well, he was 0-2 yesterday and tried to move him back off the plate and hit him. What will he give him today on 0-2?
Hopefully he doesn't hit him.
That's right. Soriano ready for the shoulder high set. Here's his pitch. Slider line. Oh, just foul down the left field line. And no balls, 2 strikes. So 0-2. It remains here to Guillen. I think you can put that slider out of the strike zone and Guillen might chase it. Down and away. That thing had too much of the plate. Soriano leans in. Right-hander delivers. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a fastball. 93 miles an hour, and that's 1 away.
Didn't necessarily say, here, try and hit it, but didn't try to fool him either. And had a little extra something on that fastball, and Guillen swung right through it.
Well, that's 1 big out. He needs 2 more, and here's Alberto Callaspo, who's having a fine year offensively. And already has a hit and a run scored tonight. A fly to right, ground ball to second. He's ended 2 different innings. Batting with 1 out, 1 on here in the 9th inning, and a 2-2 tie. Each side now with 5 hits. Gordon away at first. Soriano's first pitch. Callaspo grounds one to Pena. He'll throw to second. That is 1. Throw back to first. Got him! Double play! We go to the 9th tie. 3-6-3. A very close play at first base. And nobody turns that better in baseball than Carlos Pena. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Royals and the Rays are tied at 2 on the Rays Radio Network.
Rays get ready to work here in the bottom of the 9th of a 2-2 game, and Robinson Tejeda staying in the game. And some of his numbers here. B.J. Upton, who will lead it off, is 0 for 7 against him. Pat Burrell will be second, and Burrell does not have a history with him yet. Reed Brignac right now the third hitter, and Brignac as well does not have a history with him.
All right, so here's Upton to start off the bottom of the ninth. And the first pitch to him is taken for a cold strike. It's 0-1. So 0-1 here to Upton. He was walked and scored. Struck out looking and hit a comebacker against the starter Davies. Now the pitch. Outside corner, strike 2 called. He's 0-2.
Wow. I want to see that one again. That didn't look like it was very close. I think BJ shaking his head a little bit.
And he's behind in the count 0-2. Looked pretty good on the replay.
Not bad.
Right on the outside edge. Sliced the corner. 2 strikes the count. But from the stretch, the right-hander's pitch. Swing and a miss. Tied him up with the fastball that time. And BJ made quick work of by Tejeda for 1 away.
Kind of gives you an idea why he's 0 for 8 against him. Took the best pitch of the sequence for a strike, and then Tejeda just cut him up thereafter.
Tough stuff there by Tejeda. 1 out in the bottom of the ninth. Nobody on, and here's Pat Burrell. That is walked, struck out looking, and lined to second. And the first pitch to him. Inside corner, cold strike, 0-1. Dan Wheeler warming for the Rays. We'd see him in the 10th if the Rays don't get a run here. 0-1. Now here it comes, and he's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Did we say that Alex Gordon is now at first?
I don't believe we did.
Alex Gordon is now at first.
I should say you did now.
1 ball and 1 strike here to right-handed batting Burrow. A couple of home runs this year. And the pitch. Swinging a foul straight back beneath us, and Tejeda is in on the count 1-2.
You're talking to Evan Longoria about the ball that came up just a little bit short. He just looked at me and said, walkouts are fun. I'm in the mood for one right here. We go to the bottom of the 6th on our BB&T Insurance Services out-of-town scoreboard.
First the 1-2 to Burrell is grounded to second base. Right where they're playing him up the middle. Gets to his right. Now throws out Burrell 2 down.
Our BB&T out-of-town scoreboard. Global Resources client focus. They go to the bottom of the 6th, and the Orioles have a 7-4 lead over the Red Sox. The Twins and Indians are on the top of the 8th inning in Cleveland, with Minnesota leading that game by a score of 3-2.
Last chance in regulation for the Rays is Reed Brignac, who had a great at bat in the second inning. Took a 1-2 curveball and looped it over short to drive in the first run. He's also grounded first and fly to left, 1 for 3. First pitch to him, tried to end it, swinging a foul tip. It's 0-1. He had a home run cut. Sitting on first pitch fastball, 0-1. The count to Brignac. John Jaso is out to pinch hit for Deanna Navarro if Brignac keeps the inning alive. No balls and a strike. The Royal right-hand reliever. Sidearms one. This one's roped into right, but playing deep is DeJesus. He charges and makes the catch. And we will go to the 10th inning here on the Saturday night. At the end of 9, the Rays and the Royals knotted at 2 on the Rays Radio Network. 9 not enough tonight. The totals through regulation. The Royals 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 3 stranded. The Rays 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, and 6 left. The Royals have not stranded a runner on base since the 2nd inning. In fact, they only have 1 hit since the 2nd inning, and that was Butler's base hit to start the 9th. The time the Rays had 2 on, nobody out in the 8th, with Longoria Pena coming up, could not get a run home. And now the Royals will have the 6, 7, 8 spots. Kendall, Bloomquist, and Betancourt against the new pitcher Dan Wheeler as we go to the 10th inning. And for the 10th, let's send it back over now to Dave Wills.
Andy, thank you very much as Dan Wheeler gets ready to go to work. Works from the stretch. With nobody aboard as he gets ready to work to Kendall. Right-handed hitter with the open stance, and the first pitch is pulled over for strike 1. And before the next pitch, let's take 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the Rays Baseball Network. Oh, 1 pitch, and that's a little high. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Kendall. With Andy Freed, I am Dave Wills inside Tropicana Field. 34,000 plus in attendance, and they're getting some bonus baseball. Frank Lover's our engineer here in the booth. Chris Miller, our production assistant. Steve Carney back at our studios. The 1-1 pitch. Spinner. That dropped in there for a strike, and the count 1-2. This is the 3rd extra inning game for the Rays. They've won their previous 2. This is the 4th time the Royals have gone to extras, and they've won 2 out of the previous 3. 2-2 our score here in the 10th. Now Wheeler ready to pitch. Spinner swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him to chase, and Kendall is disposed of here in the 10th, 1 out.
The Rays have gotten Kendall to strike out in every game. And this is one of the better contact hitters of his time. This guy doesn't strike out much, but the Rays are getting him chasing.
The Orioles have had a run in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ty Wigginton has our requested, just to the 2nd home run of the ball game, his 8th of the season now. And it's an 8-4 Baltimore lead in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Rick Ankiel is going to pinch hit here for Willie Bloomquist. Ankiel's had, I think, a quad problem.
He's missed the last 6 games.
First pitch on its way, left-handed hitter, and he takes strike 1.
The legit power.
One time, not only top pitching prospect for the Cardinals, but one of the top pitching prospects in baseball.
Yeah.
And then developed the yips and transformed himself into a positional player, which doesn't happen all that often. The 0-1 pitch, swinging a foul on a play. I mean, you know, again, you hear stories about guys who came up through the minor leagues as a catcher or as a shortstop or what have you, and they just couldn't hit, so they liked their arm and they decided, let's make him into a pitcher. You hear about that a lot more than a guy who came up as a pitcher and then decided, you know what, I'm going to try my way as a everyday player. Here's the 0-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Dan Wheeler to start the 10th. 2 gone in this 2-2 game. There's the kid that was with the Blue Jays. The pitcher that now is trying to become an outfielder.
Adam Lowen.
Adam Lowen, yes. There's another one, but I don't think he's made it to the big leagues yet. He was with Baltimore, and I think he's in the Blue Jays organization.
That's exactly right.
Memory serves. There's a swinging foul off the bat of Yuniesky Betancourt for strike 1.
I was just looking up. Dan Wheeler, if he has his typical kind of year with the Rays where he appears in 50, 60 games, he's going to pass Esteban Yan for the most appearances ever in a Rays uniform. Yan at, what did I just read? I just put it down. 246, I think, and Wheeler about a 190 coming in. So he's over 200 appearances career now for the Rays.
0-1, swing and a miss, another spinner right there, and Wheeler's come out throwing strikes. That pitch still can't be right, can it?
No.
They're combined with Rafael Soriano's. Either way, he has been impressive. 0-2 to count, crowd making noise. The pitch on its way. Bounced that one in. Tried to make it the best slider he's ever thrown.
It's like, how far can I stretch out the strike zone here? How far out of the strike zone will they chase? His slider looks terrific tonight.
Wheeler with a new baseball, waits. Shrugs the shoulders as he looks in to get the sign from Navarro. The right hitter ready with a 1-2 pitch. On its way, here it is. Spinner swung out a huge foul. Just got a piece of it.
Oh, just barely.
Good Betancourt to stay alive.
He keeps throwing that pitch, they're eventually going to fan. Unless he hangs it.
This might be a time to just throw it up to the left-handed hitter's batter's box and see if he'll chase, which I think he has a tendency to do.
You could put a fastball up and out of the strike zone. He might chase that also.
Got to make sure it's out.
Yep.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball just off of the plate. How did he lay off of that pitch? Now levels at 2 balls, 2 strikes. It wasn't a strike, but the way that Betancourt chases, I can't believe he didn't go after it.
Might have been so stuck looking slider that he froze on the fastball and got lucky.
2-2 our score. We're in the 10th inning. 2 outs, base is empty. And the 2-2 pitch to Betancourt. Swing and a pop-up on the infield, right side. Pena says he's got it. Makes the catch, and we're going to the bottom of the 10th. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Royals again. They haven't sent more than 3 batters to the plate since the 2nd inning. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Any old kind of run will do it. 9-2 on the Rays Baseball Network.
Crawford and Madden was talking to him. I don't know.
Number 30, Navarro.
Bottom of the 10th inning coming up. 9-1-2 spots for the Rays. Navarro, Bartlett, and Crawford against Robinson, Tejeda. And as Dave likes to say, any old run will do it.
Rays had some opportunities, especially in the 8th inning, and a relatively quiet 9th against Tejeda. Home umpire Jerry Crawford readjusted the mask. He's going to clean off home plate. We're going to get ready to go here in the bottom of the 10th. Somebody should cue ZZ Top to be ready.
Mitch Myers now in center field. After Rick Ankiel batted for Willie Bloomquist, Meyer goes out to play center now for the 10th.
Tejeda comes set. And the first pitch on its way to Navi. Swinging a foul back to the screen.
Well, not Dusty Hill of ZZ Top, but Dusty Hughes is warming. See, they thought you were talking about Dusty Hughes should get warm.
The 0-1. Swing and a line drive to right center field. Meyer coming over to make the catch. It just hung up there too long. He got tested right away, and he made the grab as Navi gave it a ride, but nothing but an out.
2 good liners to the gaps tonight for Navarro. That one there, and then the double he had back in the 7th inning. So maybe his stroke is coming back.
Here's Jason Bartlett with the bases empty. The Rays again haven't scored since the 3rd. They've had a couple of opportunities. At Longoria to second base in the 6th. Had a base runner at second base in the 7th. First and second, nobody out of the 8th. That was the been the killer for the Rays so far. That was the one that got away. Tejeda's retired all 6 that he has faced so far. And the first pitch on its way. And Bartlett takes inside for ball 1. Tejeda came out with first and second, nobody out, struck out Longoria on a tough pitch that was outside. And they got Payne to the line into an inning-ending double play. The pitch, and that's a strike. And the count 1 ball 1 strike. 2-2 our score. We're in the bottom half of the 10th inning. And Cormier warming down the right field line for the Rays if there's an 11th. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a fly ball center field. Meyer started back, now comes in. As the beat makes the catch, 2 gone. Reach and try somebody else. Here's Carl Crawford. Crawford has reached base a couple of times. Matter of fact, each of the last 3 times. Thrown out trying to steal to win the 5th. He has scored one of the 2 runs for the Rays. He's got a walk-off hit for the Rays already this season.
Well, Dave, you wouldn't know that Robinson Tejeda had an ERA just under 12 coming in. Did this series and league hitting .368 against him. He's been
not today.
Very tough.
First pitch. That's a strike. And he said, not today.
He has not given up a home run, though.
He's due. Crawford has a couple of them, but he's behind in the count 0-1. The pitch. Outside. 1 ball 1 strike. This game just passing the 3-hour mark. On a 34,813 here at Tropicana Field. Rays fell yesterday by a score of 3-2. There's a chance this game's going to end that way. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. He tried to end it. Didn't get it.
Well, he really put out the fire in the 8th inning. 2-1, nobody out, striking out Longoria on a 3-2 pitch, and then came the line into the double play. You get the feeling if Tejeda doesn't come in and they keep it Chen, ZZ Top will be halfway through sharp dressed man right now.
What do you think their first on came? That one?
Yeah.
Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Tejeda, rather impressive in his 2+ innings of relief here tonight. We go to the 11th, tied at 2 on the Rays Baseball Network. As we get ready to go here in the 11th, new pitcher for the Rays is going to be Lance Cormier as the Rays go through their bullpen. 29-year-old right-hander. Last appeared on the 27th against Oakland with 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits, gave up a run. Has picked up a couple of wins, won a season high, I should say, 3 innings in the April 17th game against Boston. So he gets ready to go to work here in the 11th. Cormier will face the 9 1-2 hitters in the Kansas City order. And they call the play-by-play here in the 11th. It's Andy's turn.
Thanks, Dave. Sixth pitcher of the night for the Rays, and Chris Getz will lead it off against him. And left-handed batter looks at a called strike one. It's 0-1. The bullpens have been great for both teams. Both starters going 6 innings, allowing 2 runs. We have been tied since the third. Cormier right back. Getz swings at the curve and fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Getz knocked in the second Royals run with a bunt single with 2 outs in the second inning. Driving in Willie Bloomquist. He struck out Garland at third. Royals have just 1 hit since the second, when he had the bunt hit. 0-2. Out of the windup, Cormier pitches. A little tapper out to second. Nice high hop for Brignac. Underhands to Pena. 1 away. So 1 out in the 11th inning, and back to the top of the order, and David DeJesus.
Well, it has been since the second inning since Kansas City has had more than four batters in an inning, or
more than 3.
More than 3. As when you look at it, they've had the leadoff hitter aboard once. That was in the 9th against Soriano, and they got the double play. Other than that, it's really been 1, 2, 3. I mean, the Rays really have shut down this Kansas City attack, but the Rays offense hasn't been able to get on track.
And up steps DeJesus, up for the 5th time. And first pitch to him, ball 1 outside from Cormier, 1-0. Joakim Soria for the 3rd straight inning. Gets up on the Royal pen. He'd come in if they were to take the lead. If it's still tied, I wonder what the Royals would do. Tejeda showing no signs of slowing down. His curveball strike to DeJesus, 1-1. For the Royals, it's been Davies, Thompson, Chen, and Tejeda. The Rays have been Price, Balfour, Choate, Soriano, Wheeler, and now Cormier. 1 ball, 1 strike. The right-hander deals. Breaking ball, swung on a missed strike 2. And it's 1-2. DeJesus lost a little balance there. Big cut of that diving curveball. And Cormier ahead of the count. Ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2 the count. DeJesus taps the bat on both ends of home plate, pulls it back. Cormier ready, and to the plate he comes. Curved him and just missed low and inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So 2-2, and then Podsednik on deck. Remember, Billy Butler's out of the game now after he was pinch run for in the 9th. 2-2. And again, Cormier throws. Swinging a ground ball to second base. Another routine play on the short hop is Brignac. Throws to Pena. And 2 down in the 11th inning. 1 out to get to send it to the home 11th. And it'll be Scott Podsednik for the Royals, and looking ahead to the bottom of the 11th. Zobrist, Longoria, Pena would be the first 3. Upton will be 4th. And we'll see against which Royals pitcher. Tell you, if you're Tejeda and you're going this well after a frustrating first couple of games, I don't think he wants to come out. Here's Podsednik. Now the first pitch to him, strike 1 called on a curve. It's 0-1.
Yeah, but I don't think Soria's throwing if he's not coming in.
3rd time up in the pen, maybe. 0-1. Now the delivery, breaking ball, rocketed into right for a base hit. He rolled it between Pena and Brignac, and the Royals get just their 2nd hit since the 2nd inning.
And very, very good speed at first base. If I'm That's Cormier right now. The guy I'm most concerned about is the guy at the plate. Go ahead and let Podsednik think about getting second base. Worry about Alex Gordon, who has continued to struggle over these last couple of years.
All right, here is Gordon in what was Billy Butler's spot of the order. And Gordon bats for the first time. 0 for 3 in the series. And at the beginning of the year on the DL, he's hitting 194 with 1 homer and 1 RBI. But it was a big one. Came in extras. Throw to first, and they almost picked him off. Podsednik just back in time. Gordon's home run came against the left-hander Scott Downs in Toronto to win a game. Well, that throw to first, very close, but he definitely got the outside corner of the base. Cormier throws to first again, and back he goes. So first base umpire Brian Honora, and still no count here to Gordon. 2-2 tie, 11th inning on a packed house at Chapacana Field. Longoria a few steps towards the foul line at third. And another throw to first. That's his A move, but he's still back in time. Third straight move over by Cormier. That was the best of his moves in terms of quickness so far.
And again, got his uniform dirty. Not sure it's going to shorten his lead at all, but like I said, I think your main concentration right now has to be with Alex Gordon at the plate.
All right, Cormier on the third base side of the rubber. Looks over his shoulders. Now he gets the sign, ready to pitch. Podsednik runs. It's a fastball too high. Throw to second offline. And Podsednik gets to scoring position. Throw to the shortstop side of second by Navarro. And the Royals get a single away from taking the lead.
Gordon against right-handers this year hitting $143. Has 4 hits and 28 at bats. And that's why that first pitch is always so crucial. Now it's going to be up to Cormier to try to work a little bit from behind here.
9 stolen bases for Podsednik, trailing only Brett Gardner of the Yankees and Rajai Davis of the A's, who have 10. 1 ball and no strikes here to Gordon. The outfield spread out. So's the infield for that matter. Cormier on top in this tie game, and he works. Check swing, and it's a called strike, said Jerry Crawford. 1 ball and 1 strike. The first time the Royals have run into scoring position since the second inning. 1-1. Cormier looks towards second where Podsednik has his lead, and Gordon takes a curve down and in. And 2 balls and a strike. Again, the Rays have the big boppers coming up on the bottom of the 11th, but Cormier wants to keep it tied and give the Rays another shot at a walk-off. Bartlett keeps cutting in from behind a Podsednik at shortstop. Cormier pitches to Gordon. Just missed inside with a fastball. It's now 3-1. Got it on the hands, and it's now 3 balls, 1 strike. Post pitch, but I think it was the right ruling. Just off the inner edge. Gordon showing fine patience here in this at bat too. Speedy runner off second. Cormier looks at Podsednik, and down the hill he comes. Ball 4 inside, and the Royals get 2 on with 2 out for their slugger Jose Guillen.
No, I think the better matchup was Cormier against Gordon, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, again, Guillen, a guy that can run the ball out of the ballpark. He's been swinging the bat only so-so in this series, but we're going to see what his history is with Cormier. He is 0 for 2 against him. They haven't had much.
All right, here's Guillen with 2 out and 2 on. Struck out his last time up in the first pitch. Breaking ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. He had a booming double last night in the 7th inning to tie the game. Now in the Royals' biggest rally in 9 innings. He comes up with Podsednik at second and Gordon away at first. There were 2 quick outs in the inning, but the roller into right by Podsednik, and then the stolen base, and then a walk to Gordon. As the Royals on the doorstep. Soria, meantime, their closer, just squatting like a catcher on the bullpen mound, ready to be called upon. But Cormier trying to hold that off. He throws 1-0. Up and away. It's 2 balls, no strikes.
Jim Hickey doesn't like what he's seeing. I think he wants to get Cormier to get back to being aggressive. It looks like he's trying to nibble a little bit here. And Jim hopping out of the first base dugout to go have a chat.
Meantime, on the out-of-town scoreboard day, the BB&T out-of-town scoreboard. How about the Red Sox putting a 4 spot on the board in the 7th? It's now Orioles 11, Red Sox 8.
What a surprise.
Tim Wakefield on in relief of Daisuke Matsuzaka in that one. The Orioles were down 4-1. Scored 6 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, and then the 4 answered by Boston in their 7th. Yankees have already lost today to the Chicago White Sox 7-6 at New Yankee Stadium. Rays with a chance to go back up 2.5 in the AL East.
Replica Yankee Stadium. But
a tough pitch here for Cormier on 2-0. A credit to the Royals not chasing against him in the inning. And the pitch curved him right in there for a strike. 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. No one warming in the Rays pen. This is Cormier's inning. Regardless, he deals 2-1. Outside with a cut fastball. 3 balls, 1 strike. On deck is Alberto Callaspo. Tied at 2, 2 on, 2 out, 11th inning. Outfield deep and spread all the way out for the Rays. The infield pushback, especially on the left side. And Cormier's 3-1 pitch. Low ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Well, he has lost command of his cutter, and that's not good.
Cormier had walked just 2 batters in 9 2/3 innings coming in. Now he's walked back-to-back hitters to load the bases for Alberto Callaspo, who's a dangerous hitter in this spot. Tonight he singled and scored. Fly to right, grounded to second into an inning-ending double play. In the 9th, he has ended actually 3 different innings.
I'm all for a 4th.
Podsednik at third, Gordon at second, Guillen at first. Cormier's got to get one more big out here in the 11th. And the pitch to Callaspo, batting left-hand. There's a cutter for a cold strike with the inside corner, 0-1. So he jumps ahead of his first hitter in a couple of batters. And 1 strike. Longoria even with the bag at third. The right-hander works. Curve, and he's low. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
And our BB&T Insurance Services out-of-town scoreboard. An update from Baltimore. Luke Scott has just hit a home run as third. And Baltimore is taking a 12-8 lead over the Red Sox. Back and forth they go.
They've answered back. 1-1 the count. Here comes Cormier to the plate. Curveball line to first. It's fair. To bust open the game into the right field corner. Podsednik scores. Gordon scores. Guillen to third and is held. Callaspo went to second with a 2-run double. It's 4-2 KC in the 11th.
Well, I just think that, again, Lance got a little distracted by Podsednik being on base, and it took him out of his game against Alex Gordon. To me, that's the at-bat of the game. Podsednik, to me, could have taken second, could have taken third. He had to go after Alex Gordon. And you walk a hitter that's hitting under 200, and I thought that right there was the at-bat of the game. And then you throw a little spinner up there that Callaspo got over the top of, roll it up the first base line, and the Royals have scored twice here in the 11th.
Indeed they have. And now Soria gets up in their bullpen again. They're ready to try to close it out, but this inning isn't done yet. Guillen at third, Callaspo at second, Jason Kendall the hitter, and they're going to walk him. So they will intentionally walk Kendall to get to Mitch Meyer. So a disappointing moment to be sure.
And for the second straight night, it's Podsednik who starts the late inning rally.
There were 2 down and nobody on in this 11th inning. There's ball 3 to Kendall. Well, the Rays last night came back against Soria down by 2, and they've got the middle of the order coming up in the bottom of the 11th tonight. For the Royals taking command of this series. Remember, they've got their reigning Cy Young Award winner tomorrow, and Zach Greinke ready to go. The Rays bats have gone silent the last 2 nights. And the Royals break through here in the 11th. And here's Mitch Meyer with Guillen, Callaspo, and Kendall aboard. And Cormier approaching 30 pitches in the inning. Here's his first one to Meyer. Too high, 1-0. And a restless crowd of 34,000 plus. His moods just went a little sour. 1-0. Here's the right-hander from the belt. He delivers. Swing, and he popped him up. Will it stay in play? It should. Back of the plate, the catcher Navarro flips back the mask. He's got it to retire the side, but the damage has been done. The Royals scored twice with 2 outs, and we go to the bottom of the 11th. Kansas City 4, Rays 2 on the Rays Radio Network.
have their work cut out for him as Joakim Soria comes into the game. No record in the 2.53 earned run average. Again, pitched in yesterday's game and earned the save, even though he allowed a ninth inning run. But got BJ Upton to pop out the tying runs on base. And gave up a couple of walks. Soria, a guy, again, the Rays have picked up a little bit, but it's always that second run that seems to come back and haunt you. And I don't know what's going on now. Soria might want a new baseball or flips it to Jerry Crawford. He'll get a new ball. Just wait for everybody to get situated. We're still waiting for a shortstop. Betancourt hasn't come back out onto the field. And they're waiting for a Royal shortstop here. And for the Rays, it'll be the big boys coming up. They're going to have Zobrist, Longoria, and Pena as they try to overcome a 2-run deficit.
Well, Soria, against whom the Rays got to the eyelash of beating yesterday. But tonight, he's got another 2-run lead. And Zobrist starts it off against him, batting left-handed. 4-2 Royals as we go to the bottom of the 11th. And the first pitch of the inning to Zobrist is a fastball called strike 0-1. Soria also appeared in the first game of the series. So after the Royals could not get to him last year in Kansas City, he's appeared in 3 straight in this one. Trey Hillman making sure he gets it. And the 0-1, swinging a line drive up the middle. It's a base hit. And Zobrist, third hit of the night and on base for the 4th time. And he begins the inning with a base hit over second base. And last night, Evan Longoria just missed taking him out. He gets another shot a night later. So here's Longoria, who got a first pitch fastball last night, and I bet he won't get that tonight. Or if he does, it'll be out of the zone. The first pitch, fastball, swung on a foul tip. He did get it. Similar spot. It's 0-1.
90 miles an hour. Again, Soria's not a guy that's going to come out and blow you away, but he gets a lot of movement on all his pitches. And you look there and you're kind of geared up for a little harder fastball, and you get the 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and that's one of the reasons why Evan was so out front yesterday.
Evan is hitless tonight. And the offering, breaking ball way outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
11's at bat in the 8th inning. That was one of the tougher ones of the night, too. 2 on, nobody out. The Rays looking with you got the go-ahead run at second base with great speed in Crawford, and Evan had a tough at-bat against Tejeda.
1 ball, 1 strike. The Royal closer delivers. Breaking ball lined out to left center for another base hit. Back-to-back hits for the Rays against Soria, and the tying runs are aboard in the 11th inning. Another night, Dave. Regardless of what happens, the Rays are not going easy. Up against the wall, so to speak.
No, they're not. That's one of the reasons why the Rays, I truly believe, are going to be in it to the end. Trying to look at some of the numbers from Soria last night. He had to really kind of work hard to get that save. And he was somewhere around 20 pitches when it was all said and done.
Pena last night drew a walk against him. Career, he's 3 for 4 with a home run against Soria. The Royals would implore the overshift on the right side of the infield. The shortstop Betancourt to the right of second. Second baseman gets towards the hole, and first baseman Gordon not right up against the foul line, but a few steps to his left.
26 pitches in last night's 9th inning.
And again, he pitched in game 1, too. Pena swings at the first one and foul tips it at home plate, and it's 0-1.
As Carlos Pena was in the on-deck circle when Evan Longoria launched one to the left field wall. He said he threw his arms up, ready for the celebration, but then realized it wasn't going to have enough and brought his arms back down. I'm all for him to raise his arms right here.
The big run is Longoria at first. He is the tying run. And the Royals outfield very, very deep. They don't want anything hit over their heads. Soria steps behind the rubber. Pena is hitless tonight with 2 strikeouts and a line double play and a fly out to left. Each side now 7 base hits in this game. It's 4-2 Royals in the 11th. And a pitch to Pena. Swing and a miss. Rising fastball there, and it's 0-2. Pena behind the count and in the hole.
Well, again, Carlos, right now, I mean, the thing about it is he's swinging at some pretty decent pitches, and he's not getting them. Lined into a double play his last time up, but in that previous at bat, in the 6th inning. I think he swung through a couple of what are usually hittable pitches for him. He's getting a pitch. He's just not making contact.
0-2 the count here to Carlos Pena. Zobrist from second, Longoria off first. Now the pitch. Pena swings at the curve and rolls it foul. He fought that pitch off. That might have been a strike. It was going to be borderline. And a tough 0-2 pitch. Carlos clings to life here.
Well, that was one that I think Carlos picked up early, but just was able to foul it off. Jason Kendall and Joaquin Soria now running through the Rolodex here to see what they want to do with Pena. 1-2. You might have a pitch or two to waste here.
Tying runs are aboard for the Rays. If nothing else, if Pena could advance the runners, then the Rays would be a single away from tying. 0-2. Right now, he's trying to make contact against Soria. He's not a huge strikeout guy, but he really is one of the league's top closers. 0-2 the count. Here it comes to Pena, and he's low with it. Close pitch, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pena watching it all the way in. Watched it sink a little low. 1-2. Carlos has looked pretty comfortable this year, hitting with 2 strikes. And it is 1-2 right now. Rays RBI leader, 22 of them this season. Second in the league. The runners lead, and the pitch low and in, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. So 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Pena from 0-2. Zobrist single, Longoria single. These are the at-bats where Joe Madden says you just can't have the strikeout. And advance the runners, if nothing else. And if you're Pena, you're looking to drive it still. B.J. Upton on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And here it comes. Swinging a pop-up foul, third base side, and sinking into the packed house. Out of play, 2-2.
Cut movement again by Soria. Got in on the hands of Pena. And Carlos fighting that one off again to stay alive. He's making Soria work again. Good news is I don't know if we'd be able to see him tomorrow. I'd be surprised if Bowman threw him out there 4 straight days.
Yep.
That could be bad news too. The Rays have been hitting him a little bit.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 on and nobody out. The Rays need 2 to tie in the 11th inning. Here now the pitch. Breaking ball almost hit him, low and in. And it's 3-2.
Yeah, from up here you sit there and you say, "Wow, take one for the team." And down there, though, your first reaction all the time is to get out of the way of the pitch. But that's one of those curveballs that, yeah, it's going to sting a little bit, but your first reaction all the time is to get out of the way. But see, now if Pena's back and run into one.
Full count, 3-2 from 0-2. It's turned into a good at-bat, but can Pena complete the at-bat? The runners lead at first and second, and the 3-2 pitch fouled straight back, and it remains 3-2.
Just Soria and looks out towards center field, toward the Batter's Eye restaurant. Big deep breath, and thinking to himself, I just made a couple of pretty good pitches here, and how come he's still at the plate making him work?
Full count, 3-2. Again, he walked him yesterday after a similar kind of at-bat. Soria, glove over his chest, says yes to Kendall, signs, and works to Pena. 3-2. Swing and a miss. He pulled the string, and down goes Pena. Soria wins the battle. 1 away. Big strikeout. And really, that's a great at-bat and a terrific pitch by Soria to finish him off.
It was a strike, and it was just a beautifully executed changeup. And Carlos probably looking fastball. Great arm movement, great arm action, and the grip allowed it to come in about 5 miles an hour slower than his fastball, and had Carlos out in front.
Now B.J. Upton, who flied to center against Soria after falling behind 0-2 to end last night's game. 1 out, 2 on. The first pitch to B.J. Fastball. That's a strike. They gave him the outside corner on its 0-1, and B.J. disagrees. So Soria jumps ahead. 1 strike here to B.J., who's still talking to Jerry Crawford.
Yeah, B.J.'s telling him, I've been watching this game from center field all night long, and that hasn't been called a strike. And now Jerry Crawford bellowing back, and now here comes Joe Madden at top of the list. I think that's exactly what BJ said. He said, I've been watching the game from center field. I haven't seen a pitch like that called a strike all night. Because I saw Crawford point out toward center field, and now Joe Madden's going to try and calm down the situation.
Borderline pitch.
It was very close to the last pitch that Upton saw. And they get back in the ninth inning. It was the same kind, but that was on the second pitch. I think this one, though, might have been a ball outside. Now, see, this is where Jerry Crawford has to just look away. He's trying to bait B.J. Upton by staring at him. Jerry's best days are behind him. He should just be quiet.
0-1 to count to Upton. Zobrist off second and Longoria from first. Double play ends the night. And a one-strike pitch to B.J. Fastball, swung on and missed, and it's 0-2.
Umpire's got to know a little better than that, too. In the heat of the moment, an 11th inning game with two guys on, a borderline pitch. If a hitter bat marks at you a little bit, you wear it. Shouldn't be getting involved in the game in the 11th inning.
B.J. shortened the stroke last night on 0-2 and hit it to center. He's 0-2 a night later with Pat Burrell on deck. Now the pitch. Swing and a foul. He took a rising fastball and put it back over the net. 0-2. 4-2 Royals. One out, bottom of the 11th. Of the 17 pitches for Joakim Soria, 13 are strikes. Didn't look like any weariness pitching for his third straight game. 0-2. The right-hander ready and throws. Swing and a foul coming back near us. Goes beneath us. 0-2. It remains here to Upton. BJ tonight has walked and scored. He stole third base back in the second inning. Struck out looking in the fourth. Hit a comebacker against Davies in the sixth. Fanned against Tejeda, whose game it will be to win. That came in the ninth. Zobrist and Longoria dance off the bases. And BJ asks for time.
Base runner, you got to make sure that the line drive goes through with only one out. So take a step back toward the bag. Used to be that you freeze on a line drive. Now the Rays are teaching you to take kind of a jab step back toward the bag.
Time called. Kendall's going to go to the mound. The outfield is very deep, so a single to any part of the outfield, Zobrist should probably score rather easily. Jerry Crawford's going to dust off home plate. B.J. Upton just digging in and waiting. Down at the top of the ninth in Baltimore. Orioles 12, Red Sox 9. Alfredo Simon is trying to close that game off. Here Joakim Soria trying to finish the Rays off. 0-2. Runners lead again. The two-strike pitch. Fastball popped him up foul behind the plate. And it remains no balls, two strikes. Tough, gritty at bats here by the Rays, falling behind in the count. Pena and Upton. Soria has gotten ahead of both of them 0-2. Pena got it to 3-2 and it struck out on a masterful changeup. BJ still behind 0-2. And the pitch on the way. Breaking ball struck him out. Swung on and missed, and the Rays are down to their final out. And credit Soria taking care of two very tough hitters. And that time BJ might have chased one. That was going off the outside. Last chance for the Rays. Pat Burrell. Yeah, he definitely chased one. Credit to Soria. He's an out away from his sixth. Make it his seventh save and two in as many nights. Rays got two aboard in the eighth. Nobody out couldn't move them. They had two on, nobody out in the 11th, and now they're down to their last out. And a pitch to Burrell, swung on and fouled back, and it's 0-1. Nothing in one to count. Here to Burrow. He's walked, struck out, lined out, and grounded out. Well, Pat's come up with some big hits already this season. And they're raising up. They need to get a lot more. One strike.
Now, again, he's got a little bit of a cut to his fastball, and But I think the bat speed of Burrell matches up with the pitch speed of Soria. He doesn't have that overpowering fastball. I think that Soria leaves one out over the plate, Pat can run into one.
2 homers, 13 batted in so far for the Rays DH. Pitch. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. And the Rays are down to the final strike, 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Zobrist and Longoria.
Scoreboard totals are correct. Arizona scores 93 points.